Yes, people, good morning to you all. I hope you're all doing well. I appreciate you all finding the time to join us today on today's match reaction show, Blue Morning Show to be specific, on Chelsea Perspective. I hope you're all doing well. Today, we will revisit the 2-2 draw against Arsenal at the Bridge and look at it and find out why we didn't win that one. Because, in my opinion, we had no business losing that game. The 3 points were all ours for the taking. How that didn't happen, I don't know, but we'll have a conversation today. More importantly, I do hope you're all doing well, and I appreciate you all finding the time to join. Sit back, relax. Let's get into the show. Once more, people, big up to all of you. I do hope you're all doing well. I appreciate you all finding the time to join the show this particular morning. Yep, I understand. I'm not quite too sure how to feel this morning, but that's by the way. We'll move on. We'll talk about it. See, there are lessons to learn from what happened yesterday. Overall, more importantly for me, I am just happy that we're making progress. We're actually ahead of time in terms of the project. Nobody gave us a chance, and look, we dominated and could have won that game had it not been for what happened. I really do hate to start pointing fingers at whose fault it was. That led to us not winning that game. But that's why we move on. I hope you're all doing well. As for me, I sleep blue. I eat blue. I sleep blue. I wake up blue. Blue is everything. That is, I'm living the blue life. And welcome to the Blue Morning Show. So let me say hello to those of you in the chat. So we'll move on. Start. I don't know. There's no news item to address. I didn't pick up any. I had the plan to pick some comments from some of the players so that we can talk about them, but I forgot to do that, and I don't want to start clicking. You can say switching between tabs while you're waiting to for us to start discussing the game. Pochettino's masterclass ruined by Sanchez. You could say that. And CFC Blue, nice to see you. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show this morning. Yeah, Sanchez out, Petrovic in. We may well see that happen, but here's why I'm doubtful whether that will happen anytime soon. Sanchez didn't have a preseason, so chances are the manager will still give him more time, or the manager will prefer. There's a chance he prefers correcting Sanchez and believing that Sanchez will not make such mistakes again and move on from it. So we don't know, but Petrovic is a good goalkeeper. In my opinion, a better short stopper. But let's see what happens anyway. I'm still filming. We all are, but right now I've calmed. You can say I'm calm now. More importantly, even yesterday, a few minutes after the game, as furious as I was, I did calm down. The mistake was silly. Even the second goal, but it's no time to point fingers. But we'll talk about it. Robert Sanchez masterclass overall. I think he should be better in big games. He should. But let's see what the manager does. We have a good, and you can say an equally good goalkeeper, or even better goalkeeper, a better shot stopper in Petrovic. But let's see what the manager does. But I do not think the manager will most likely drop him for that mistake. The belief will be that he's made a mistake and that chances are he learns from it. C note, LC note, what happened? Sanchez happened. He should be investigated. Wow. But nice to see you. Excuse me. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. We have how many likes already? 14 likes, and we're just 9 minutes into the show. Let's make it happen. And I see my bro again. And Wally Waldo, I remember you told me, even if you're not here, you're locking behind the scenes. You're watching as always. But it's important. It's only fair that I ask how you've been. I hope you've been doing well. I haven't seen you in a while. Always nice to see you. Please do let us know that you're okay. Hopefully, the case is just You've just been busy. To be honest, we should have won about 4-0. Palmer should have done a better on that Raya mistake, and Jackson should have just chipped it over the keeper for his chance. Jackson, to his defense, wasn't fully fit. He had surgery on his wrist, we were told. No wonder why he didn't start. But here's the thing: it is what it is. I'm just happy. A good result overall, but we should have done better. But no need to be furious. No need to start. You can say accusing people unfairly. The fact remains, we have an entirely new squad, and errors like that are very common. And remember, we did talk about that during the pre-game show. That errors like that, mix up here and there. You can say disjointed displays here and there, and some mistakes that in some occasions will lead to goals will still be happening for a while. But I'm happy with the progress we're making. And if you remember, even those during those games were lost, I still say, yeah, I'm seeing progress, and the progress. Believe me, I think, the future is bright. And Constantine Dante, always nice to see you, brother. Hello to you too. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you joining. Enzo Augusto Jackson should score. That will come with time. We're making good progress, and I'm still happy. I appreciate you joining, brother. And we gave 3 points away. I can see where Poch is taking this team to great improvements overall, all around. I agree with you. And one thing I'll ask everyone participating in the chat: please pay attention, try as much as you can to make your comments in the chat be aligned with whatever topic we're currently addressing. Otherwise, I'm going to skip it. You have every right to have conversation, non-aligned conversations with those of you in the chat. It doesn't matter to me. But if you want me to address or to read your comment, it has to be aligned with the current topic. Going back and forth topics can be exhausting. If you know, I'm saying the truth. I'm done with Chelsea. I am unfollowing all Chelsea stuff. I was like that before I became a content creator, so it's understandable. If that helps you, you don't want to, you can say, go bananas mentally. If that helps you to avoid going bananas mentally, do it, honestly. I will stop spending more money on their kit. Time to move on, starting by unfollowing and unsubscribing to all Chelsea-related accounts. Honestly, I'm going to say that again. If that helps you mentally, do it. Honestly, and I'm serious. I used to do that before I became a content creator. Unfortunately, now that I'm a content creator, no matter how I feel about any game, I have to be here and present the show. I'm good, coach. I've been transferred to work in America, so been sorting out my visa and all that. Wow. Congratulations to you, brother. And if anytime, any day you come to Las Vegas, hit me up. Let me spoil you a bit. Okay? Much love to you, brother. And I appreciate how much you supported this channel. I am actually happy with the performance. I would say I am. I was furious immediately after the game, but a few minutes later on, I realized, with an entirely new squad, young team like that, they played as well as we did. We dominated actually majority of the game, and then the two, you can say, more importantly, the mistake by Sanchez gave us a lot of confidence. And we could have scored up to 4 goals, but we'll look at it. I am actually happy with the performance of playing with Gallagher in the 10th position. Seems a lot better for us. He did quite well. And honestly, he's arguably the most improved Chelsea player under Mauricio Pochettino. Let's see. Phil Seep says, big up, coach. Big up to you too, brother. I hope you are doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. Jerry Z, I appreciate you. Even though we did not win, you're still donning the Blazers. You're a man of your words, and I appreciate that. But let me start with this question. I hope you're doing well, first of all, before anything else.
Good morning, coach. Nice to have the Blue Morning Show back after a little break. I'm generally doing good, but I'm very hurting like all the Chelsea fans. It's a loss because the word of a loss is coming from my mouth after the game. I even forgot it's a draw, so it's hard to take. So I'm doing good, but the loss. See, I say loss. I will say loss. It's very hard. Very
Yeah, it
hard.
feels like you could say yesterday for me, it felt like as if it was a loss. But I've taken my time to reflect. It was a good performance, and we knew before time. We did talk about that during the pregame show. We knew chances are we could say we see this disjointed displays here and there, lack of coordination, lack of proper chemistry, and you could say, yeah, it happened. But lot more, you can say a thousand positives to, you can say, to a few a few negatives in my opinion. But let me ask you this. Let me just put the question across to you this way: how did we not win that one?
In short, it's Robert Sanchez. Not blaming, of course. You know me. I don't
I
blame
understand,
you.
but we have to have that a comfortable conversation maybe. But go
Absolutely.
ahead.
So, in short, of course, it's the mistake. You know me. I don't go hard on any player. I respect the
Hmm.
players. Always
But we
defend.
have to pinpoint where we can say what caused the issues we had. Go
But
ahead.
that was the instrumental or the most, you can see the whole game, the cornerstone, the point which turned the game around, right?
Hmm.
So, of course, and until the 77 minute, Arsenal, when they first scored the goal, the Declan Rice goal with the Sanchez mistake, it was their first shot on target as well. So, you can imagine the way we played this game, how we shut them down. So it's not a rocket science. It's simple. That was the moment, and just as Rice scored the goal, I had this feeling that we will not be able to cope with this. The heads didn't drop. I won't say we were fighting, but you can understand when all of the players were, the way they put the effort, the intensity. It's very hard to take. See, even it's hard to take for the fans right now. So
Hmm.
again, there was an error in the second goal, and we can discuss in this broadcast. So of course, that was the turning point. We were kind of flawless. It was a perfect match, and it's again, of course, there are a million positives from this game, but we drew or lost the game. It won't help if we keep on. If we, let's say, how many times will you play like this? I hope many times in the future. And even in the games where we dominated, we were near perfect, we didn't come with the 3 points, so it's a huge concern. And yeah, so we have to live with that and just hope that the players will be strong enough to come back with this loss, I will say.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this again, and I think I will say it a million times by the time we end this particular show. Um, we had no business drawing that game. The 3 points were all for us for the taking. What happened happened. Every player did well, except Sanchez. You could say even the long balls that he was known for, that he emerged as one of the, you could say, top with the best. You could say most completed long balls in the Premier League. I think he was second in that stats particular stats table. But he was awful with the lumpers and everything. But that's by the way. Big up to you to Phil Sips and Chooks talks football. Chelsea need a good striker. Jackson can lead this team. I think he would do well. Remember yesterday he wasn't fully fit. He had to come in with after a surgery to fix an issue on his wrist. What the issue was, I honestly do not know. And what he will do here is saying, I think when we get Nkunku back, Jackson will be a lot better. Yesterday, I honestly, for me, if I had to rate him, I'll put NA, not applicable, in my opinion. Because yeah, you could argue that he didn't have much time to make a difference. Plus, he was, yeah, that was just after a surgery. I don't blame him that much. But that's my opinion anyway. It was a good performance, a solid performance. Arsenal were startled. They were struggling. You could see we could have scored 4, 5 goals actually, but we'll look at the numbers in a bit. But that's by the way, Tabejo, my brother from the Madiba land. Let's say you, brother. Um, First of all, how are you feeling? And I want to hear your thoughts on why you think we didn't win that one. Because yeah, it was. You can say we had no business losing that game. But let's hear you, brother, if you're there. Or,
Yes,
mhm.
big up, coach. Can you hear me?
Big up to you too, brother.
Yeah, man. You know what? Yesterday I was so disappointed. I was not angry or fuming. I was just disappointed because I felt like we were in control of the game, even though Arsenal had a position. Uh, Robert Sanchez that did his magic, man. But overall, I don't want to blame him a lot. These things happen in football, but hopefully doesn't happen in these big games, because in big games do such mistakes, it kills our momentum. So overall, we should have won the game, and then other players should have done better. For example, I know Cole Palmer scored a penalty. He was so excellent that yesterday, but he got some few chances. Should have done better, and some of other players. So overall, I would say like fair result, but it feels like a defeat. And then, man, we need to win against Brentford to overcome this pain, because it's so painful, man, to draw that game like just like that, coach.
Yeah, I do agree with you. Had the case been that okay, we played badly and it ended in a draw, then you could say it'd be okay. It would be well. You can say would accept the result wholeheartedly. But we played well and dominated for you could say for a long duration of the game and had no business drawing that game. The 3 points were there for the taking, and we did. So I'm gonna say this again. I was a furious yesterday, but I've you can say I've moved on from that. I've come to the realization we're making huge progress. Actually, more importantly, we're making good progress. Nobody gave it a chance. Gave us a chance. The pundits, Arsenal fans, rival fans, all were saying that they were going to smash us. That was what I was hearing everywhere. But they were shocked how well we played. And yeah, it is what it is. We're moving from that. Let's see. Wally Waldo is saying, "Yep, I think I've read that one." Jackson was pulled out of the Senegalese squad because he was having surgery on his wrist. Yep, that was why. Again, if I had to rate him, I just go with not applicable. NA. It's as simple as that, in my opinion. Let's see what else we have here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. To be honest, I was gutted with the draw yesterday. However, there are some positives to take from the game. I got to say, Sanchez, yeah, what you say there, he was a very shambolic, but his mistake was a long time coming. Yep, he's been, you can say, I have to be honest, he's been averaging a single mistake per game. And it was only a matter of time before we get punished due to his mistakes. I don't know what the manager is going to do. Here's the thing. One thing I'm not too sure about is Petrovic's ability on the ball. I've seen somebody in the chat argue that Petrovic is actually good on the ball, but maybe he played for a club in the MLS where they're not into passing out from the back, because passing out from the back is a strategy that works. It helps you control the game perfectly. And Sanchez, wow! And after we signed him, I think I don't know where I can't be quite too sure whether it was the club that he went on loan to that shared a video on TikTok where he made a couple of high profile mistakes leading to them losing games, comical mistakes actually. But they still say, okay, good luck to you anyway after joining Chelsea. I'm concerned whether he'd improve in that. He will improve in that area. I'm also concerned whether the manager will look at it and say, okay, we'd be better off keeping the player who's made a mistake so that he can learn from his mistakes and become better. Petrovic needs to get a chance. The issue is that he didn't get preseason with us either. None of the goalkeepers did, and he hasn't played in a cup game. The manager had to play Sanchez in a cup game because he wanted him to get more game time and you could say be up and running, because he hadn't played hadn't played much before we signed him. But let's see how he goes. I think we'll sort it out. The good thing, I'm happy we're making huge progress. Yeah. Let's see what else we have here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. Let's see how many people we have. We have 19 likes. That was what I want to check. And we have 19 people watching. We can do better than that. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. And if you don't mind, share the link to the stream on whatever social media platform where you have presence so that more people can come join us. And if you haven't liked the video already, what are you doing? And big up to this guy that I don't like, Chelsea Mitchell. Much love to you, brother. I appreciate you finding the time to join. That smile on that your DP, I like it so much, even though I don't like you. And please go check out Nietzsche Boy's YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe and let him know I sent you. I think he will share the link to YouTube channel when he feels like. And if he has a show coming up today, he will do the same. And let's see. To be honest, Sanchez is an upgrade from Kepa. I think they differ. They each have something that they do better than the other. Kepa way better on the ball, in my opinion. Sanchez, you can say better in terms of high claims and all that. But high claims, you can say, well, you're not too sure. You can say, nah. You can say that. Let me just leave it at the fact that they have something that they do better than the other. But we'll move on from that, honestly. Big up, Coach Tommy Bryan. In terms of Sanchez, I will be like, I will be like the great philosopher Jose Mourinho. I prefer not to say. I prefer to say nothing. You're better off not to say anything because I wasn't going to read it. I will not read it if you say something redonkulous. They're not even ridiculous. So we move on. I'm going to come to you, Jerry Z. Let's go through the statistics of because it will tell us a lot with regards to how with regards to how everything unfolded. But his thing, if you look at the rating of the Arsenal defenders, in my opinion, it shows that we were on them. Actually, we were on them, in my opinion. And they did well on the day because they could have conceded more had they not defended as well as they did. Let's see what else we have here before we start looking at the numbers. And for those of you that are watching just quickly, and for one reason or the other, you're not able to participate in the chat, just know that we appreciate you. But if you can, please take a second, drop a like on the stream for us to help us reach more people. We'd really appreciate that. I think it's a lack of chemistry between the goalkeeper and the midfielder. She could say that. I think that's a correct assessment, really. Lack of chemistry is very common when you're playing with an entirely new team. Plus, we did make an adjustment in the defensive line, bringing in what's his name? Bringing Levi Cole centrally, and yeah, you could argue that that may well be the case, but I don't know. But still, it was a sloppy mistake, in my opinion. And the midfielders, that's causing the mistakes, coach. You make there's a chance you're correct, brother. Chemistry and coordination, that's very key. That's very key. Which was why when we talked about it yesterday, we did discuss why we should actually simplify things and why as that chemistry matures even more, then we can be confident in playing out from the back and not be too concerned about such errors repeating. But that's by the way. We're going to start looking at the numbers immediately, and once we're done, let's see. Just give me 1 second here. Let's see what we have here. I'll be there with you guys in a bit. Yep, let's look at a possession. 43% up to 57 of this. I don't care much. We were very direct yesterday, and that, to me, I think that was deliberate. We didn't intend to just to keep the ball for the sake of it. Expected goals 1.35 to theirs of 0.99. So this was again. The 3 points were all ours for the taking, in my opinion. Total shots 11 to theirs 13. We had 5 shots on target. They had 3. Big chances, 2 big chances, 1 of theirs. Big chances missed. We missed 1 big chance. Fouls committed 14 of theirs to 7 of us, and corners 7 of theirs and to 2 of us. Let's see detailed stats. Let's look at everything together. Total shots, we've seen that 13 for us, and the shots are off target 5. Anything you want to tell us with the stats we just looked at right now?
The stats, if you see just the stats, if someone has not seen the game, if they see the stats, they will not be able to understand the performance and how well we played. The stats are good. They do reflect that we have done better than them, apart from the possession, which is, of course, which was a part of the tactics, I would believe, the way we set up, the way we played and defended. So again, like and even the 3 shots on target of Arsenal, we have to understand that the 2 are the goals, right? And until the 70, if we analyze, or the way I analyze, I will see up till the 77th minute, 0 shots on target. I remember in the live game, I was watching on BN, and I believe on 74th, 5th minute. Of course, I was not calculating if they had shots or not, right? No one does. But I I knew I was watching the game that I was like, they hardly had a shot. I was like, maybe they had or not. I'm not sure. Around 74th, 5th minute, they showed the stat that Arsenal had 0 shots on target. And I was like, this is like amazing. Like this is like an unbelievable feat on its own, right? And I was so excited. I called my dad and said that, Arsenal didn't have a single shot on target, and then Robert Sanchez made the mistake. So yeah, we played better, and we completely dominated the game. Come on, there is no two ways about it. Of course, in the 90 minutes, if you take as a whole, then we can. Football is played in 90 minutes. I have seen enough football, so yeah, of course, we have to see it's a 2-2. It's a draw. Fine. We cannot blame Arsenal, or we cannot say they were lucky. We gave them the opportunity, right? And then unfortunately we could not
And
cope up.
they took it. It's that simple.
They took it. So we have to,
Like you
you
said,
know,
you said we gave them the opportunity, and I'm saying that they took it. Yeah. So it's
they
that
took it.
simple. Yeah, they
And
did well. Go
Arsenal of
ahead.
Yes, sir. And Arsenal of the past might not have come up. Of course, they would have scored the goal. It was not so difficult with the opportunity the Rice took, but the second goal shows that how strong Arsenal. We have to appreciate that how strong Arsenal are. The way they, after the goal, I'm saying, after the mistake of Sanchez, the second goal, I was really really worried, and I was actually anticipating that Arsenal would score a second. uh yeah, so it's I don't know, like every other fan and analyst, I'm lost for words. I'm hurting. I'm severely hurting because this and the entire shows that the Chelsea members are doing in the community could have a complete different feeling, a feeling of celebration. We would have been talking about Pochettino's masterclass, about many. We can still talk about it, right? But right at the end of the day, I cannot even disagree with that. As much as I back Poch, the players and everyone, we got 1 point out of it. That's the bottom line.
You can say, let's be honest. Let's say this again. Nobody gave us a chance. We did look at the poll yesterday. It was 53% of those that participated in the poll believe that Arsenal will win. Only I think 30% plus believe that Chelsea uh, are capable of winning the game. And look how well we played. And let's talk about this, Jersey. And Tobeho, I know you're there. Whenever you want to come in, you can always come in. Let's talk about this. The fact that we played so well that we made Arsenal look ordinary. They weren't as good as they usually, you can say, they've been playing. They struggled to cope with the tactics. How was Pochettino able to do that? I want to hear you, because yeah, they really did struggle against us. So what did he do that got them to? You can say they looked startled. They were startled. They were shaky. Couldn't misplacing passes here and there. I think, to be honest, it was down to the manager's tactics that Arsenal didn't play as well as they usually play. But let's hear you. What did he do differently that led to that?
Well, it's a collection of many different aspects and variables. Uh, uh, Yesterday, I came on this show, and I would apologize. Maybe I got too excited. So anyhow, it's the game. I was actually very happy with the way Chelsea were playing. So yeah. So I think it has to do with the preparation, first of all. The way he's been training, and I've been saying this uh, many times in this show, both on the chat and in the panel, that people sometimes are not getting it right. Because it's not that I know anything more than anyone. I really, really research and go in this training. This is something that makes, I'm like a huge, you can see, this is the area which I cover, and research, the management, the training. This is the thesis that I'm really looking after. The training of Pochettino, right? It's immense. The way he prepare, why he's rated so high. Again, we'll go back whenever this question will come. People will just look at his time at Tottenham and say he didn't win anything. We have covered this many times, right? So I'm not going on that discussion. The thing is, his preparation, to answer you again, to try to make it short, the way he trained is second to none. The people, 90% of the people in the industry rate him high, for a reason, because of the training. What the coach can do, the primary job is the training, the methodology, not only the training, how he sets up the team, how he trains, how he integrates, how he communicates. He is right up there as one of the best. So I think he really prepared after the momentum that we had. after the 3 wins and the international break. I gave it to the preparation and again the tactics. And the tactics were great. I know some people are saying, oh, it's just a 4-4-2 and Chelsea are always doing that. No, it's easy to say a 4-4-2 or 4-2-3-1. He played three systems in this game. It started with a 4-2-3-1, right? And then it went to a 4-3-3 and then to a 4-4-2. And in the later stage, I could be wrong. I felt it's a 4-4-1-1. So he's playing a lot of hybrid in system. It's not about the formation. Formation is the same. There are 5-6 formation everyone can use. I can use. You can use. It's the way how his team set up, how his team in the middle of the field. The people say I could be wrong, but the way I analyze it, and again I saw the game and checked my notes. The way I looked at it, of course, we were great defensively, and for me, Cucurella was the best player. But I would give credit. The way we won the game is in the midfield. I will give credit. This is the first game where we really saw the essence and what we can expect in the future from Gallagher, Enzo Fernandez, and Moses Caicedo. Those three were the bedrock, were the foundation why our defense was so good, because we won the midfield battle. These three players absolutely dominated midfield, and that is why we were so dominant, because we didn't give them any area, any penetration. We were there, and Cucurella, I have to really mention it. I was, I don't never talk negative about anyone, but I was the one in the camp. I was like, let him go, right? When we were talking about him, about his possible sale to Manchester United, he surprised us in the right back position in the last 3 games, in the most difficult game, in the most high intensity game. The way he put, in a way, Saka in his pocket was amazing. We have to really appreciate him.
Yeah, we will address. Yeah, we will look at the players, some of the, not all the players. We will take the players one by one and talk about their performances, especially Cucurella. He was just brilliant yesterday. He was good on the right side, and people were actually concerned whether he'd be able to deal with Bukayo Saka. And I've always preached that there's a good player in him. And what the issues, you said his most highlighted deficiency is something that's actually easy to address. That's a manager which you could say caution him, stay, just watch your space. You leave so much spaces in behind, there's so much space in behind. Be sure not to do that during this game, and he will listen. He's an experienced player. When we move on from that, we'll come back. We'll start talking about the players one by one, especially Cucurella. We'll talk about him. We'll talk about Cole Palmer, and then Conor Gallagher. Of course, he gets a lot of sticks from the fans unfairly sometimes, and he's proven a lot of people wrong. Nice picture. Okay. Saying hello to Wally Waldo. Let's see what else we have here. I don't. And by the way, Toby, it's nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. I don't know why Jackson would not just shoot. Jackson wasn't fully fit, and from the story I've heard, he shouldn't have actually shouldn't have played at all. He had to leave the Senegalese national team camp because he underwent a surgery. And yeah, but I'm not too concerned. Great morning. I'm reading. You can say this is the first. You can say your first comment on the day is reflective of the fact that you're happy. It looks like you like the result, but let's hear what you have to say next and see if I'm correct. Am I a mod? Yeah, you are, of course, Tobias. You've been for a while and you didn't know. Correct me if that's not the case. You've been a mod for 1,000 years, actually. Look at them. Poch needs to lay down a marker. Yosa would drop Sanchez. A warning to the squad. Sanchez cannot be our lead goalkeeper. Here's the thing. I'll highlight this comment and I'll come back to it the moment I'm more caught up with what we have in the chat there, because we need to talk about whether we think the manager would drop him for this. I'd say no. I'd say the manager will probably see it and say, okay, he's made a mistake and he will learn from it. That's how I see it. It'd be difficult because Petrovic hasn't played. And the reason why Sanchez played the Premier League games and also the cup games was just because the manager wants him to play because he didn't get a preseason. And now he's played that much. I don't think it'd be easy for the manager to drop him. But we'll go back to that in a bit. Coach, there was a lot of fans quite positive that we win or get a result somewhere. I just knew that against the big teams, against those teams or the so-called difficult games, that we'll get results. What sort of results I wasn't able to say. But this team, I'm beginning to, my confidence in them is, you could say, is growing by the day. But the poll we looked at during the pre-game show yesterday, during the previous show, showed thousands. You can say, I think it was 100 and something thousand plus, showed that people didn't give us a chance. Pundits, rival fans didn't give us a chance. But that's fine. But Constantine Dante, once more, nice to see you. We'll also need a top a top forward. Jackson at best will be an okay striker. We need a world-class forward. Here's the thing. I'm going to tell you the same thing I think I told you when we signed Cole Palmer, and you weren't that happy. Jackson will come good. Remember, he wasn't fully fit yesterday. The manager just had to put him on to see if maybe if it help us get one more goal. I think we'll be all right. Do I think we should sign one more striker? Not up to me. Everything comes down to how well we do. Look at this Arsenal fan saying, "Hold that, hold what? We outplayed you, and you were lucky to have gotten a draw." And Nightbot deleted your message probably because you sent too many at the same time. So then no, don't tell me hold that. And if you're into banter, just slug it out with Gunners 88. Leave him there as long as he's not abusive, as long as he's not, you can say, saying anything anything bad. Just leave him. Banter is banter. Leave him. He provides value to the community. Welcome him. Have the conversation with him. That's why we're here. I have a positive feeling that with yesterday's game, our performance will only get better if we are consistent. I would see us beating City Sports. Yep, those are the games that I'm not actually too concerned about. Honestly, I think we'll do well. My opinion, and our project actually is ahead of time. That's how I see it. Let's see what else we have here. But unfortunately, Gunners 88, I'm not going to be reading everything you say there. The banter will be between you and those in the chat. Then I'll come back to you if I see anything. Yeah, objective. Injury or not, Jackson does not have that elite striker ability. That trait is important and cannot be coached. Okay, we'll find out. For me, I trust him and I still believe he will come good. It was your worst game. That's because we outplayed you. That's because you were started by our manager's tactics. That's because he's an elite manager and Ateta isn't. And he has to prove everyone wrong. If that makes you happy now. Let's see, Dante. Let's see what else we have here. Anything else? Yep. Tell him. You guys should slug it out with him. I agree with you about Jackson. However, he's young. He will improve with time. Thank you. That's two-part sentence there. One agrees on one tells him, calm down. He will improve. Put some respect on Jerry Z's. The jinx is... Jerry, if you remember on the panel, Constantine was warning you, shh, don't jinx it. Stop. He didn't jinx it. I think he was just excited because at the time during the first half, we were just brilliant. And I was screaming on top of my voice, and I nearly lost my voice yesterday. But respect him, though. His analysis are always spot on, in my opinion. Even though I don't like him, and I know by now you know I don't like Jerry Z, right? It's really funny that Arsenal fans say we bottled the game. We did. They were expected to mop the floor with us, pundits, rival fans alike, and them, they didn't give us a chance. And they were lucky. And some of them were truthful. If you go to Xfair, Twitter sphere, now Xfair, you see people there talking how Arsenal fans who are truthful, saying how lucky they were. They were just lucky. That mistake by Sanchez opened the gate for them, gave them confidence. They bottled the league last season and will not win the league before Chelsea wins it again. Yep. Let me remix that a bit. Before Chelsea wins it again. And here's the thing, and they will not win the Champions League before Chelsea wins it again. That's the thing for me. Here's the thing, yeah, they were awful yesterday and they were lucky. It's as simple as that. Even they know that. You doomed us, Jerry. You damn got humbled, but it's okay. We learn and we move on. And lots of positives and negatives are from that particular game, in my opinion. Let's see what else we have here. Don Raymond, thank you. I haven't seen you in a while, brother. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join this morning. our guys really tried yesterday, but stupidity. I wouldn't say stupidity. I wouldn't say stupidity is the reason why somebody makes he made such a mistake. It was just a mistake, and but the fact is there's a pattern to it. He's been averaging a single mistake, a such mistake per game, but we haven't been punished until yesterday. I'd say when it's stupidity, then it's just deliberate, in my opinion. But stupidity make them concede with 3 goals from Arsenal. We played them like elementary players, but we learn our lessons and move on. That's how I see it, honestly. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. How many likes? 27 likes. Let's get the likes up. I'm gonna go back to the panel in a bit. Was watching some Arsenal reactions and OMG, there's a lot of delusional ones there. Arsenal fans are the worst. Oh, yeah. They're known for that. In my opinion, Coachila, Sanchez makes that every match. Yep. Yep. Adebayo, you just did it tapping on me. He's been averaging a single mistake per game, but we haven't been punished. And yesterday it happened. And my concern is that the manager will continue playing him, believing that, yeah, he will learn from his mistake. But it didn't start today. I told you I saw a video on TikTok where he went alone. I think it was 3 mistakes, high-profile mistakes in total, and all of them you could argue comical. Yeah, but I hope the manager, you can say, I hope he learns, because I'm sure the manager will keep him believing he will learn and improve, because his goalkeeping coaches will convince him he's good. He just needs, he's still very young, given, yeah, as a goalkeeper, he's still very young. But that's right. Let me come to the panel. Ty, I want to hear you speak on why you think we didn't win that one. Soon we'll start looking at individual players or individual players' performance to see how well they did. But Ty, let's hear you. Why didn't we win that one? In your opinion, let's hear you. Your view, maybe.
Um, we didn't win the game because we literally gave it away. That's the first thing, we gave it away. Um, Obviously, people say that we we were all over Arsenal for most of the game, but when it mattered, which was to stay composed and to see out the results, we struggled and we started to crack under pressure because Arsenal had the possession, and people will say that that's essentially the most that they did, which was to have the ball most of the time, pass the road. But I think that we struggled because we struggled to keep them at bay when they matched in the 70th minute going onwards. And Sanchez's mistake didn't help things, especially at the time that it did. And when I looked at it, and I made a review, and then when I looked back at the match again, I got frustrated again because I was saying that at that time, exactly 1 minute before, Pochettino made substitutions to try to be more defensive and have more defensive players. And in a sense, Sanchez makes that mistake. There's 30 minutes plus added time left. That is gonna give them a welcome back into the game. Rice having a shot outside the box, and then you have a lot of minutes left where Arsenal are known for being pressurized, and if they are able to set some passes together, they can be dangerous. So in a sense, we didn't win the match because after we scored that second goal, we became lackluster. We didn't have the same intensity. We had opportunities after that, but we couldn't pounce on them. We wasted them. And obviously, when you see that happen, you know how it is. You say that you can't script football, but sometimes you have to wonder if it's so scripted, because usually, if you miss an important chance, you know that a goal is going to be coming from the opponents, or they're going to come close to scoring. But we didn't win the match because obviously, after we got that second goal through Mudryk, we it's like we took our foot off the the gas pedal, and after that we just tried to keep them at bay and try to be defensive. But obviously the mistakes didn't help, and the lack of awareness for the second goal didn't help as well.
Yep, Ty, thank you so much for that. Sanchez makes out, yep, every match. That was a tapping on me at Debayo. So offside, you owe me one. You keep passing the ball back 100 times to a keeper, especially in the wet, in a wet carpet. Let's put it like that. It was inevitable. But here's the thing: I think that error wasn't down to the fact that the pitch was wet. In my opinion, I think it was an error, something we've seen 1,000 times, but we haven't been punished. Yesterday, it was long time. It was only a matter of time that we got punished for such. You could say,
He did the exact same thing against Brighton.
yeah, we were just lucky. And when he did it again, was it against Brighton? There was another one he did that he was off his line.
Against Aston Villa as well.
Yeah, exactly. So he's averaging a single you could say euro per game, but as I've said before, it was only a matter of time before we get punished, and it happened yesterday. As well as he's done for us, he's made a lot of mistakes. In my opinion, Jerry, let me ask you this question. Would you say I think that may well be the case? Would you say that we lost the game due to our inability to manage the game. Because if we had more experienced players on the pitch, I think chances are with the game, at least at most, you could say the worst case would have ended 2-1 to Chelsea. But we weren't able to manage the game. We were still almost always in a hurry to do something on the pitch. Even after we considered that first goal, we didn't make moves to slow things down a bit. You can say and recoup, for lack of a better language. I think part of the reason why we lost that game was our inability to manage that game. Let's hear you, Jerry. Jerry, Z, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree 100%. Even after the 2-0 and before the mistake, when Madrid scored the goal 2-0, right? Um, my wife was asking me, why are you so tense? I haven't seen you so tense before. I said, because it's a new team. I'm not sure how they will cope with this. Will they be able to see off this game or not? So I was really concerned. And when the mistake was made 2-1, so you're right. And this team, not only new, inexperienced, and playing together, most of them for the first time since the last month or two, this is like a new territory, right? And we see that they were not able to handle it. Honestly, the pressure after the first goal, the mistake, and the Rice goal, I can clearly see in the patterns that they were. Of course, they were trying their best, but they were feeling the pressure. Even Caicedo and Enzo in the midfield, after playing a brilliant game, were making very bad passes, were losing the ball many times. So they were showing the desperation, and they were getting they were feeling the intensity and the threat of Arsenal. So yeah, it's a new territory. Maybe, I mean, I won't say it's anything is positive. The way I was using the word butter, but yeah, the way we lost the game or drew the game on paper, there's nothing positive. But if we really have to dig in and somehow take a positive, it's that at this time, this early in the season, we have experienced this thing. We have gone through this thing, and let's see, it will be. Let's hope. We can only hope it will be a learning phase, and we can come out strong with this. But on the other hand, it has happened in the past, even with stronger teams, that it took them time to recover. So this is very important, and another headache for Pochettino to try and make sure that the team, because the way they have played, right? They have performed. They have given their best, everything they have given in this game, and came at the end of the day, they just came up with a 1 point. So it can really hurt you. It can really make you feel depressed. And it's easy for us to say they are professionals and all of this, but they are only humans. So it's really important that we win the next game, and next time we are in the lead, we can learn from this and see off the game. So I really hope this will not hurt us in the long run.
And I think Pochettino did say something similar to that. Similar to that during his post-game interview. He talked about game management. I think that does go a long way, but I don't think we're able to do that right now. Hopefully, we'll learn from yesterday's draw. What that you could say a draw that still feels like a loss, but a lot more positives are from that game than negatives. You keep passing the ball back. Here's the thing: the lesson from this one is maybe the fact that he's prone to making such a mistakes, such comical mistakes, to be specific, maybe we should pass the ball to him sparingly and not do it all the time. At times when they pass the ball and he was, and like you said, if you look at the, should I say, the direction the ball is going on the carpet, I fear sometimes he will miss trapping the ball and it will go into the net. Honestly, I fear that could happen someday, but hopefully it doesn't. Let's see what else we have here. He needs an airfield rant from Thiago Silva and co. I am so whatever you said that with Sanchez. Let's talk about this. Tobejo. I like Thiago Silva, and for me, I'm still marveled at his football and intelligence, his ability to read the game. Which those things are the reasons why he's still playing even at his age right now. But it doesn't look like, as much as I know, he leads by example mainly. He's not the most vocal. He's not the most vocal. And that's why, again, the moment I read this comment here on the screen from Adebayo Makunju, I realized, as much as I like this guy, as a leader, he's not the most vocal. I don't think... you could say the only thing that speaks for him is his pedigree, what he's achieved as a footballer. But he's not this type. You say you listen to him because he can be vocal, and maybe language barrier may be an issue. But I can still recall the games I've watched him play for Brazil. I don't remember seeing him being vocal. Usually, the most vocal guys around him are those that his defensive partners. When he played with David Luiz, partnered with David Luiz for Brazil, David Luiz always the most vocal of the two. And all the places where he's played, he's not the most vocal. He only leads by example. But maybe Sanchez needs the sort of, you could say, sort of John Terry leadership in the back line. John Terry, who again, can I mention, we don't have that sort of player in our team right now. And it's not going to be helpful, given that Sanchez makes a lot of mistakes. He needs a vocal leader in that back line. And nobody there talks to him right now. That's a concern. Let's hear you, Tobejo. I think solving the problem will not just come from Pochettino. It has to come from also his defensive line. Let's hear you.
I disagree, Coach. There's a free kick that Arsenal had, and then Sanchez went out, almost gave away a goal, and then that time Thiago Silva was chatting with Sanchez and letting him know that you should do better. Just chill. He was just showing with his hand, say you must just relax, chill and stuff. So overall, you're right.
You said chatting, right?
Yes.
I don't want chatting. I want somebody let me mute you once I'm done speaking. I'll mute you. I want someone who will scream at him. I want someone when he's talking, he's not going to see a friendly face. I want somebody, even Harry Maguire was. I'm not saying we should sign Maguire, but you see how he screams, how he commands. You can say his defensive mates, maybe for lack of a better language. Thiago Silva, even if he speaks or speaks to if he did speak to Sanchez, it will be in a calmly manner. It will not be in a way that it gets into his ear. It should be a rant. I want to see a rant. I want to see a shout. I want to see him scream at him so he learns. But that's what I'm saying. But go ahead. Let's hear you, brother. Let's hear you, Tobejo, if you're still there. Tobejo, you there? All right, let me get what we have in the chat. Whenever you're ready to speak, you can come back in. Let me see. Okay. I think what's going on. I think he muted himself. Let's see. So to me, given this, honestly, I'd say, as much as I love Thiago Silva, I don't want to chat like Tobejo did put it. Let's say you tie. Tobejo says he was chatting with Sanchez. That's not the sort of thing that you say get him to be concentrate more.
I'm back,
okay, go ahead, Tobejo. Go ahead, brother.
Yes, I agree with you. We need a leader that can shout and stuff. Even that time, did you see Enzo reaction to Sterling that time? Sterling wanted to take a penalty and then he just let Sterling, no, give it to Cole Palmer. We need that face so that I'm angry at you. You need to do more. So overall, hopefully one of the center back can learn that. Maybe Disasi, Colwell, or Benechile. We need that. Maybe we'll build in time. So I agree with you, coach.
I'm sure you're not agreeing with me just because you're my brother. But you get my point there. I want to it makes sense, and maybe I got you to understand. Yeah, just having a chat with him will not solve that problem. But Ty, I don't know. Let's move on from that one. We have a lot to talk about today. So I agree with this comment from Adeba. He needs an airfield rant from Thiago Silva, not the chat. Sanchez's positioning on the equalizer was horrible. Usually he comes out to claim such a high ball. Honestly, why he didn't do that, I don't know. As well, should have really saved that. He normally saves those, but unfortunately, probably that mistake affected him. And you don't change goalkeepers like that. Hi to you too, Oscar. I hope you're doing well. Nice to see you, Oscar, the Chelsea perspective man. Inexperience cost us badly. You could say that. But I'm willing to give these players a chance. I think we'll get there. But if we can mix it up with more experienced players in January, I'll take that. And Victor, nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. 34 likes. We should be doing better than that, people. Thank you for all the likes. Anyway, the match was okay. We did well. We had no business drawing that game. The 3 points were all ours for the taking, but within. We will continue to drop points for as long as Sanchez continues to make his errors every single game. Yep, he averages one single mistake per game. I think we need Petrovic, please. I wouldn't mind us not playing out from the back. Let me hear you. I think it was Raman Lot that argued that Petrovic is actually good on the ball. But here's why I think I'm going to come back to this in a bit. Here's why I think it would be difficult to change the goalkeeper. That's because Petrovic didn't have preseason and hasn't played any game. And the way Pochettino has handled Sanchez shows that he wants him to play more, to play him into form maybe. If we finish top 5 this season, I assure you, mark my words, we will win the league next season. Yeah, I think I agree with you. We have some potential there. The midfield area was set. Defensive area, you could argue, was set to except for left back. I don't trust Ben Chilwell, I have to say that, unfortunately. Maybe one left back or attacking number 9, I think would be good. Young, inexperienced team, but who needs to step up and help to make it easier and see it out in that situation? Poch, I think, yeah. I think he tried, actually. Correct me if I'm wrong, he tried to tell them to calm things down a bit. His subs and instructions were questionable, in my opinion, changed the game negatively. I'll highlight this. I think we need to talk about that even more. Yes, sir, Chimera. Nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. Tabeo, some praise to you from Constantine Dante. Sanchez needs to be dropped. I saw Thiago telling him to calm down, yet he went and do what's on. Telling him to calm down doesn't help. But I get what you're saying. All the same, I'm proud of the boys. I'm proud of them, honestly. But at the time, I was furious because we had no business drawing that game. Colwell and Sanchez are both horrendous. I have to say this. I need to watch that game again and again to go to the extent of saying who was horrendous or who wasn't. Let's see what else we have here. Lampard, Joba, Balak, and Terry will have slapped the heck out of Sanchez, and that is what made that team great. Poch must give Petrovic his opportunity. If his goalkeeper coaches also need a talking to, I think we'll see Petrovic against Portsmouth. I think we will, because the manager will see the need now to give him a chance as soon as possible. Gusto needs a good training. I think Gusto did well, except for ball watching when we considered the second goal. I think the team lacks maturity, and it takes time. Jerry, you it seemed as if you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I just, in my opinion and analysis, I just wanted to add a take with the comment. Very good comment, very nice, and personally I agree with that. With the Drogba, Lampard, Terry, they would have handled and said things differently. But the way I have analyzed not just football, the entire world and the culture and the system in the world right now, it's a different era we are living in. So not only at Chelsea, you won't see that happening in other clubs as well. Okay, with Guardiola and Klopp, they have a foundation, a system at place, and things are different, still happening in a traditional way. But you get the point. The shouting and the way we are talking to the players is, you can, I don't want to give in my opinion because there are so many sides to look at it, but it's kind of, it's not a part of the culture. It's taken in an offensive way now, so because generally in a culture we don't talk like this, we are more respectable. So it's a good thing, right, in a way. But of course in sports, and I understand we need that, but I think as a culture as a whole we are practicing it less. So in my opinion, that is why it's the reflection. It's not because of these players, it's the generational thing, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. Yeah, uh, the future is bright. Silva did have a go at Sanchez, but yeah, I knew you weren't gonna support me. Go away. This is you. Look at you trying to be friendly with Tobejo. Tobejo is my bro. You're not gonna take him away from me. Just go away. If you look at the replays, Sanchez was actually trying to pass to Gallagher, who was a cut ball watching. Here's the thing. Let me say something. If you're trying to say it wasn't his fault, okay, let's assume it wasn't his fault. He made that mistake. Let's assume he tried to pass to Gallagher, and Gallagher wasn't paying attention, and the ball now went beyond Gallagher. The moment the ball went beyond Gallagher, if he can read the game well, he should see that the next person that gets the ball will be Declan Rice. And at that point, you readjust your position. But he stood still. He stood where he was. He didn't even try to go back to cover his post. Because, yeah, had he done that, it would be difficult for Declan Rice to score from there. But he stood there and he was off his line, and Declan Rice saw that. Yeah, he was out of position, maybe. But Declan Rice saw that and took the shot from you can say 1,000 miles away. Not even power. It was about just making sure he went into the goal post, and he did. If you get my point. So if you want to start arguing that the intent was to pass it with Gallagher, and was again, if the pass was that accurate, it wouldn't have gone beyond Gallagher. But I need to look at it again. But my point is, if you think that's the case, just remember what I explained right now.
It was
Um,
intended for Enzo, not Gallagher. There's no way.
it was for Enzo. Let's see that again. Yeah, I have to look at that again. But my point is, no matter how you see it, it comes back to Sanchez. That's how I see it. Sanchez and Levi were shocking last night. You could say I haven't watched that game to an extent where I'd say who was shocking or who wasn't. Yeah, Gala was about watching Dean react. Rice was behind him. They both were looking at the keeper, and the ball. Gala did say he was exhausted at that last 20 minutes. Yeah, he was tired, and I think I agree. Even JC did mention that yesterday. But here's the thing: even at that, Sanchez should have read the situation and then readjust his, you can say, change his position and be at least in the central area of the goalpost and not. I don't know what else to say actually. I think it comes back to him, no matter how you try to see it. And Gallagher also could have taken one for the team, but inexperienced. I see a player like Thiago Silva taking one for the team. I see a player experienced as N'Golo Kante taking one for the team. Yeah, but he didn't do that. Just bring him down. Get a yellow card. You're not on the yellow already, in my opinion. But inexperience. Yeah,
Was the other yellow card?
A Man City player, for instance, would bring him down. Go ahead. Who was saying something?
Wasn't Gallagher on a yellow card already?
I don't think he was. Was he on a yellow? We had to. Which of our players were on a yellow at the time? Even if he gets a red at the time, honestly, I won't. As long as we don't concede, I think we'll be better off. Sometimes you just have to take one for the team. But we'll look and find out whether he was on a
In my
yellow.
opinion, they are true to all these discussions, I would say, but of course, primarily it was Sanchez's fault. Yes, I mean Gallagher could have done a little different, but the thing is that he could have taken the card yellow or red. I think when Sanchez
Yeah,
passed the
Gallagher
ball,
wasn't on any card at the time.
what I'm trying to say is that the way when
Gallagher's
Sanchez
a
just
loser,
passed
man.
the ball and made the mistake, they really got, the mentality, the mind. It's easy for us. What I'm trying to say they could have done a little bit different. Gallagher could have taken the card, but the mind froze right at that time. It's difficult, when this move happened. It's really difficult to. It's a split second, nanosecond decision. So it's very easy for us to say that they could have done this or that after the pass, but I think it was almost impossible to do anything. With given the time to react. So yeah, it is what it is, and the only thing is that he made this mistake at the game against Brighton and Aston Villa as well. And I also, with other people in the panel, I think they also pointed out, and those mistakes were luckily, like one of the mistakes, the forward of Aston Villa could not take the shot properly. He hit straight to Sanchez. And in the Brighton game, I think the ball was recovered. I can't exactly remember, but both of them, he made this mistake three times, if not more, in my opinion. But yesterday we got hurt. So yeah, so let's see what happens. Petrovic will definitely get a game, if not now, in the game against Blackburn in the cup in 2 weeks. He will get his chance. So let's see what he does. I hope he shows something, because we really do need a competition and we need someone to challenge Sanchez at least.
Yeah, he needs to be challenged. I think that will make a difference, in my opinion. Light some gas in his behind. A big up, Glenn 10. I appreciate you, brother. I hope you're doing well. Here's another thing. You are 2-0 up. Who fit forward? Yeah, exactly. So, and I think even Constantine Dante did talk about that a bit a few minutes ago. Who fit forward? Just you don't have to. It doesn't have to be pretty at this point. We have a very young squad. Sometimes play dirty. It doesn't matter. Where two goes up, just who fit forward, and it doesn't have to be that nice. Dutch style tiki taka. Yeah, BS. For for the life of me. Who are we playing next? We'll look at that in a bit. And good afternoon, Agile Yedikachi. I hope you're doing well. I don't think we can write off Sanchez of for one mistake, but it wasn't one. Here's the thing: we just got punished yesterday. He's made similar mistakes. It could have been like 4 or 5 times right now that he's made such mistakes. It's just that you can say it's easy not to talk about those mistakes because we didn't lose those games or because we won those games. It wasn't the first time. We've talked about that before. He's averaging a similar type of mistakes, one per game. That we've been lucky. It's been a long time coming. We just got punished yesterday for it. We were praising him. Yeah, we did praising him, but we still, even the chairman of the goalkeepers union in Roger have always talked about, the mistakes he's made, and we do talk about that quite a lot. We were praising him for 2 weeks ago with his Superman dive and whatnot. Yes, but even at that, we have to mention it wasn't just yesterday. Yesterday was the only time we got punished. I would have liked to see a sub take Gallagher off. Yep, I think it makes sense. He was tired. If he was so spent, you have Ugo, and Ugo, could have actually done a better job protecting the defensive line. A DM on the bench also. Enzo looked spent. Hard in the rain for mid 90s, 90 minutes, high pressure and all that. I think I agree with you, honestly. Let's see. And Glenn, more importantly, I do hope you're doing well. Sanchez had a better view before giving that ball away because from there, he was standing, from where he was standing, he could see clearly that Rice was close again at that point, which was why I said it was easy for him to realize the next person that will get the person that will get that ball will be Rice, and then readjust, change your position, and go to the center area of your goal. But he had to stand there, unfortunately. We'll look at that in a bit. Let's see what else we have here. Yeah, the subs from Poch was completely unnecessary. I get he wants to give others game time, but he completely disrupted the squad. when he took off Palmer, Starling, and Noni, Huston, even he shouldn't have taken off Mudryk, in my opinion. I said it in this channel that Arsenal, it's been overhyped. You could say that again. I think I agree. Sanchez makes a mistake every game. Go and rewatch our last 6 games. He's now a problem because, he will hinder the team going forward. And I told you guys, I saw something on TikTok. Sanchez's you can say comical errors didn't start today. It's something that's very common with him. Whether he improve and that you can say reduces or stops, I don't know. He easily gives balls away. He's good on 7 long range balls, not close range. Or maybe once it's on the carpet, he hardly stops them. That's just my opinion, by the way. Look at this. Let's talk about this really. This here, people saying, okay, Sanchez needs to drop. Do I think he needs to be dropped? I think so. But let's be honest, Petrovic is much rusty. And I think my logic is this. One more point I want to make with regards to that is this. Given how the manager has handled his selection, given the fact that he's played also cup games, even the one before Brighton, which was an easier cup game than that Brighton game, he started Sanchez too. So that shows he wants to play him into form. He wants to continue playing him until he becomes a perfect goalkeeper for the club, in my opinion. And I'm suggesting right now, I'm thinking right now there's a chance he probably wouldn't. You can say the error won't be a problem for the manager, in my opinion. He probably maybe stick to the belief that he's made a mistake, that he will learn from his mistakes and become better. I don't think we'll see Petrovic anytime soon. If anything, we'll see him in a cup game. Let's hear you, Terry.
Sorry to interrupt. Just to add one thing, Pochettino mentioned twice in his press conferences. I don't recall the exact press conference. There have been 10 press conferences of the 8 Premier League and 2 Carabao Cups that he listened to the coaching, the goalkeeping coach of what he has to do. He takes his advice and gives it the highest merit. So and the goalkeeping coach is high on Sanchez. So it's a tricky thing because Pochettino has himself clearly said that for the goalkeeper he relies on the goalkeeping coach. He listens to his feedback and takes it to account. So and the coach is a pro Sanchez, So I don't know if it's good for us or not. So and again, like we have, although I am not really worried about it, but on paper we have very tricky games coming up. So maybe this is not the right time to experiment, let's say, or play him. But again, the next 2 games are against Brentford and Blackburn. So I don't know. The thing is, I'm concerned this can happen against City, Newcastle, Spurs. So I don't know. It's the thing is that Pochettino maybe needs to get himself more engaged and doesn't really just rely on the report of the goalkeeping coach.
But he has the final say, Jerry. He has the final say, and if they keep telling him that he's the better of the 2 goalkeepers, and he continues to average a single high profile mistake per game, and we haven't talked about that much. That's because 90% of those, 99.9% of those hasn't led to us conceding goals. He has the final say. He can put in all the work in drilling the players to play a certain way. You can say ensuring that the players improve, and we play as well as we did against Arsenal, and Sanchez ruins it. He should stop listening to his goalkeeping coaches if it happens again. But let's hear you. He has the final say.
Yes. No, I was just making the point, right? Of course, he has the final say. That's what I'm saying, that he needs to come in and just not like, as it happens in many organizations. For this department, like Pochettino was like that, he has left it to the goalkeeping coach and take there. Of course, he should. What I'm trying to say, he has the final say, so he should be bold, right? And again, it's still, I know it's early to just make a conclusion on Sanchez. But it's worrying, because it has happened 3, as I said, you said 4 or 5 times. So maybe it has happened more. And we were not punished because the similar mistakes happened, but sometimes I think 1 or two of our players somehow retracted the ball, and as I said against Aston Villa, I forgot the name of the striker or the midfielder who took the shot and hit it straight to Sanchez. So we could have conceded more goals, but somehow those mistakes didn't hurt us. So and again, like Pochettino plays from the back and really heavily relies on that. So of course he won't change the tactics, right? Because it's instrumental to his play. So again, right, I don't know, like we should have been more clever with the acquisition, I would say, when we are investing so much. Again, it will get into a different direction of the talk. When you're investing so much, you only need one goalkeeper, right? With other positions, okay, you have different players. You could have been more clever in your acquisition, but it's a concern right now for me. But let's see what happens. I don't know, in January maybe we should go for a goalkeeper. I don't know. I'm just thinking, right? So I don't know. Like the two goalkeepers we had, let's hope Petrovic is good enough. Otherwise, we are in trouble. I would say we would need to consider a goalkeeper as well.
Yeah, because we cannot do well, play well, and concede silly goals. In my opinion, I credit it to the players for their ability to interpret Pochettino's tactics. They did well, and and tactically the manager was spot on. But there were a few questions. You can say mainly the substitutions, and we'll talk about that in a bit. Yeah, Glenn. The question is, I like this one. He's asking him, "What did you celebrate, or was it sorrow?" Oh my gosh! What we need is a goalkeeper that can win games for us, just like that of yesterday, and a good finisher too. Uh, the goalkeeping coach is from Brighton, also, so there may be some bias there. Yeah, chances are there's a bias there in terms of, you could say, telling the manager which of the two goalkeepers is better. It's not good for us. We do not need a bias in our team. I agree with you. So the manager must think twice and look at it from another perspective and get to realize, yeah, they have a good relationship. So, and he was the one that suggested we sign Sanchez. So he will always tell them Sanchez is the better goalkeeper of the two. Honestly, because right now, the way things are going, Sanchez probably would take that position for granted because he has no competition. There's nothing that has happened that shows him that he needs to do better, or otherwise he'd lose his place until Petrovic starts playing. Why are the defenders so adamant on passing back to Sanchez? Just unnecessary pressure on the goalie when there's so many open plays. Yeah, I think I agree with you. And Constantine Dante has said that 1,000 times. Why pass to him? Especially when we know he makes such high-profile mistakes. We shouldn't be doing that. Give Petrovic the next two games. If he does not, if he does well, if it doesn't, at least we know, yeah, that's when we get to know that Sanchez is the better of the two. Sanchez gets a wake up call, and become a bit pressure on him will get him to become even better, in my opinion. Poch should sit Sanchez down and force him to watch his performances in the game. It was absolutely shambolic. Cesc Fabregas said that. Wow. But yeah, I think I agree. My biggest concern right now is that he has no competition. There's nothing that has happened that will get him to feel like he has to do better, otherwise he'd lose his place in the team. Ty, let's hear you. What do you think? I think lack of competition may well be an issue here. And if you're in the chat, let's hear you. Do you think lack of competition for Sanchez is an issue? I think it is. In my opinion, I think it is. Unfortunately, and Ty, if you have time, I want to hear you if you think that's the case. Might as well put Badia Schiller in goal if we keep passing it to the goalkeeper. Yeah, at least you have somebody who's excellent on the ball. And I do fear that maybe there's a chance the next goal we concede from an error from Sanchez will be one that you could say that our defenders or midfielders pass straight down to the face of the goalpost, and he won't be able to trap the ball, and maybe misses the trap, and the ball will go into the net. I fear that will happen next, honestly. Let's see what else we have here. Sanchez, why, why is that? Bettinelli keeps all the keepers on their toes. I don't think so. One the last time he played for us during preseason under Thomas Tuchel, he made a profile mistake, which you could partly blame on which you could see blame partly on what's this called partly on Rhys James. I remember because that was the game I was at the Las Vegas Stadium. What's it called again? The name of the stadium. I forgot, but I was in that particular game. Yeah. Um, how come no one is talking about the goal of the week, Mudryk? We get to that in a bit. The argument right now is whether it was a deliberate chip or whether it was a cross that yeah that went into the back of the net. Here's the thing: the most important thing is that it went in. The ball went into the net. Yeah, it's a goal. Whether it was deliberate or not, you'd have to ask Mudryk. And no matter how you feel about that goal, you have to take whatever he tells you, because he was the one that knew what he wanted to do at the time. Whether his intent was to cross the ball to uh, get the ball to Raheem Sterling, or whether it was a deliberate chip. We've been told that the goalkeeping coach told him that Raya often gets off his line, so he should try and chip the ball. And yeah, I'll take that one. I don't care. Get over it. Whether you think it was deliberate or not, it went into the net, and it was a goal, and I credit it to him. So just let's move on. So we'll talk about that even more in a bit. The argument it was, as I've said, whether it was deliberate or whether it was accidental, I don't care. We scored. Why did Poch sub Starlin, Palmer, and Mudryk? He should not do that. If he did, we would be. If it didn't, we could have won the game. I think that that's what she was saying there. Bettinelli, yeah, exactly. Keeps you on their toes. If Mudryk plays 90 minutes, we'll win. A simple. And Stalin's foul was a penalty? I don't think so. That wasn't. I think Stalin was asking for it. Why is everyone so adamant that that he meant that though? Like Coach said, he went in. That was that. Yeah, that counts. As simple as that. Whether he meant it or not, it doesn't matter. Say all you what you want, and I'm glad he celebrated it up. That's just that. We move on from it. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. 38 likes, that's not easy, given that who haven't streamed in a while for this particular channel. And here's the plan again. I'm gonna say this. During transfer windows, the Blue Morning Show will be on every day. And if we get a capable host who be willing to be hosting the Blue Morning Show, somebody who's, you can say, that time of the day for me, which is 2 a.m., 3 a.m. my time, will be daytime in their, you can say, location, and can you can say can hold the fort in terms of hosting the Blue Morning Show. Yeah, and we can switch things around anytime, every now and then fine. The Blue Morning Show isn't dead, it's still here. We just need one more host, but we'll be doing it every Saturday and Sundays now. But we move on from that. Let's see what else we have here. Colwell, let me see this. Look at this just right now. Colwell was worse than Bambi on ice. What did they give him before the match? That's the thing. I'm gonna say what I've said like 5 times now during this show. I haven't watched that game well enough to say a certain player is some players are, you can say, were horrendous or maybe were bad. No, I'm not gonna do that right now. Yeah, let's just move on. Yeah, Colwell, and also to his credit, yeah, he's been playing left back. If you don't think that well, you can say wield any measure of influence with regards to how well he does as a centre back, you're not being truthful. He's still very young, and playing him out of position for how many games and then bringing him to play centrally, yeah, that can be a problem, in my opinion, if you felt like he didn't do well. Let's see this here. If I scored a goal like that against Arsenal, the team that wanted me, I am running the pitch like Adebayo did when he was playing for Man City, right? Not doing the lame Rashford celebration. And yeah, I think maybe he wasn't too sure what to do. What's up to you too? I hope you're doing well. It was not a cross. It was a deliberate act. That's how I see it. And if you want to come at me and argue that it was a cross, it was meant for Raheem Sterling, and it accidentally went in. I'd say at least he went in. And he scored the goal. I hope we buy Osimhen in January to replace Nkunku in case he gets injured. I don't think Nkunku is going anywhere. Colwell very uncomfortable. And the fact that we've played him in 1,000 position hasn't helped. Sarasi is saying James has good impact to yeah, he didn't have any impact in my opinion. He should have sat it out actually. Subscribe to Chelsea Sessions. Go check it out. Let's help him add some cushions to 1,000 subscribers. He reached 1,000 subscribers recently, but he needs to add more cushion to that. Let's help him get to at least 1,100 as soon as possible. Then we take it from there. But that's by the way. We move on. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. People who have 39 likes, and I strongly believe we can do better than that. Please, if you haven't, take a second to drop a like on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Cucurella was really top player. He sucks. He played his socks off and shut down Saka. His performance didn't deserve that result. And I did see a comment on Twitter. He was furious that we lost that game. I think he knew he did well. I actually knew the team overall deserves better. And he's actually one of our most experienced players. So that's why I'm saying we shouldn't sell him. I've always known there's a good player in him. And when people highlight how he leaves tons of spaces in behind, I've always told them that is something that's actually easy, something that's easy to correct, actually, to address if that's that's what people are most concerned about. He's an excellent defender, and he can do more going forward, honestly. If you remember his Brighton days, he had lots of excellent crosses into the box, but they didn't have a traditional number 9, or you could say a good number 9 to put those chances away. I'm glad we kept him. Had we sold him to Manchester United, we'd be worse off right now, in my opinion. None is sub to left wing made no sense as well. I kept saying sub Enzo put fresh legs on physicality in the midfield. Yeah, that could have gone a long way too, so I agree. But that's by the way, Bobby, I don't know if you've watched the game. If you have, I'm going to ask the question, this particular question that I've asked everyone who's been on the panel here today. And big up, I hope you're doing well. More importantly, if you've watched the game, why did we not? How did we not win that one? Because we were dominant. Nobody gave us a chance. The pundits, rival fans were saying Arsenal will mop the floor with us. I saw a video of Terry Flews. That's how you pronounce his name. Terry Flews. With the caption, Chelsea will get smashed. It didn't happen. We shocked them. They were startled. We played better. It's just that the inexperience in our youthful team showed yesterday. We didn't manage the game, because I'm quite sure if we had more experienced players, that you can say chances are, we'd win that game and even scored more. But we didn't manage the game. We continued. You can say we were always in a hurry throughout the game, even when we were leading 2-0. But let's hear you, Bobby. How did we not win that one, really?
Yeah, I'm so glad you've actually made that last comment. And I'm watching the game again. I watched it last night, but I was pretty tired after I'd spent the whole day out, a marvelous day with the youth setup. And I came back, and my treatment always knocks it out of me anyway. But I sort of watched it, and I'm watching it again now. And I watched a little bit from Match of the Day, who these days, I have to add, I don't watch at all, for two reasons: the nonsense they talk, and the other reason, because we haven't been that successful, it gives them more ammunition to pile on the nonsense. Look, and they continued. They didn't disappoint us yesterday. There is a narrative that we have to change. And of course, Chelsea, who is not particularly blessed by not having an army of trolls that follow us and are quite vocal, we tend to continue beating that negative drum. First thing, which is also an answer to your question as to how we didn't win the game and the fact that we struggled and we didn't perform well. And by the way, before I continue, Terry Fleurs, who is not a Chelsea fan, repudiated what he said about the game and absolutely hit the nail on the head as to where this Chelsea team is, what they did, and he took no prisoners. One, Arsenal had their full, and I repeat, full first team, several of whom did not go to the international break, but stayed with Arsenal, recuperating and preparing for Chelsea. So I'm not hearing any of this, oh, they were not on form, yada, 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 BS. Terry hit the nail on the head. They didn't play well because Chelsea didn't let them play well. Two, Chelsea weren't quite there, a bit immature to let them come back in the game because, listen up, Sky Sports, listen up, TNT Sports, listen up, our famous Match of the Day, Talk Sports and whoever else. Chelsea Football Club in 5 years have not had a full set of key players to play Arsenal. The last time we did that, I believe, was even in the Europa League final, where we tanked them, and you all saw what happened there, how much better a side we were. This is
Yeah,
almost
under
like
Mauricio
saying,
Sarri.
yeah, this is almost like saying Chelsea B team took Arsenal A team to school, because this is what was there. But they will never tell you that. Instead, they will dwell, harper on, and keep beating on the negatives. Oh, Arsenal weren't quite on form. Oh, Mudryk, he didn't mean it. Who gives that? I don't care. He meant it. He said he meant it. His coach said he meant it. Okay, I take it. He meant it. It was a goal. That's the most important thing. But they want to always, always steal our thunder and dampen the goal. Even the penalty that was all within the legal confines of the game and was a clear stonewall penalty, they don't want to fully give Cole Palmer the accolades for the way he took that penalty. Bear in mind, this is a 20-year-old kid, something like that. Just really, I mean, forget that he's had a few cameos with Man City. He's raw, just like most of all the other players on the pitch. I'm so glad you gave the flowers to Cucurella. He's really shown in the past few games what he should be all about. And dare I say it, but for his finishing, Raheem Sterling has shown what he should be about as a senior player. We're coming along. We're coming along. To me, there's a lot more positives than negatives. Yes, we blew a 2-0 lead and really should never have happened. I've looked at it and I've got to put that squarely on the goalkeeper. That's where it happens. Instead of trying a Match of the Day talking about how great, grand, glorious Arsenal are for coming back from a 2-0 lead. Yeah, a full deck of cards of players, and they struggled and had to rely on the goalkeeping error to get them back in the game. It was a horrendous thing from Sanchez, and he does that. He's done that one too many times. He passed the ball to the opposition against Brighton. He passed the ball to the opposition, I think, against Burnley. He's been doing it, and I can see why Brighton benched him. And quite frankly, if he'll be lucky if he's playing against Brentford next, really. And if he is, and he comes anywhere near anything like that, then Petrovic has to come in. I'm sorry, that's why we brought Petrovic, and that's why we're still being linked with the goalkeeper.
And
There's no sentiment here.
Yeah, if you've
Sorry?
been listening, we talked about somebody in the chat talked about how the goalkeeping staff are from Brighton.
Yeah.
So, and I think it was somebody on the panel, was it Jersey, that referenced the fact that Pochettino, he said publicly that he listens to his goalkeeping staff, training
Yeah,
the trainers, and I told him he has the final say. If this guy continues to average a single mistake per game, he should drop to the bench. I don't know how good Petrovic is on the ball, because that's part of you could say that aids your tactical approach, the ability to play
exactly.
out from the back. But somebody in the chat said he's actually good on the ball too. But we should give
Well,
him a
yeah,
chance. Yeah.
well, we're not his coaches. We're not with him week in, week out. I don't doubt that he's good, but I have to say, it's a tough call. Quite clearly, there's no sentiment here, whether their Brighton coach is there or not, and they will know that. However, I think the get out of jail card that Sanchez is enjoying is that, one, he came sort of midstream into the team to fit into a new team with new players all around him and relatively new coaches, although he is familiar with the ex-Brighton coach. Two, he had no real preseason, so he's warming up. And when you warm up, you can drop some clangers. However, this is going beyond the realm of mistake into incompetence. And we can't afford anything near this again. This goalkeeper has actually contributed, although we were fortunate that we got past Brighton. I think on both occasions. I think we played them twice now, haven't we?
We
In
played
the
him
League Cup,
twice.
and we beat them. So we're fortunate we've got past them through the League Cup and the league. And we the one
No, I
against
think we still
Burnley.
play. Have we played them? We still play them in the league. We haven't played
Okay,
them in the league. Am I mixing things up here?
I don't know. We seem to be meeting Brighton every day. We play them
No, we
pre-season,
played
play
them
them.
during preseason. Then we played them in the League Cup. I think we'll still play them in the league.
Okay, well, whatever's the case, he can't keep doing this. Goalkeepers are there to win us points, not to cost us
Have we
points.
played Brighton
And
in the league already? I don't
And
know, but
well,
keep
it's a
going.
quick Google search, isn't it? I can't remember either. I've not been well. I've not always been on it this season, so I can't remember. But all I'm saying is that I do remember his errors. I do remember he's made key errors in key games, and that has to stop. It has to stop. He's run out of his opportunities. In the course of a season, goalkeepers are given some errors. I mean, even the best. Petr Cech has dropped some clangers. Thibaut Courtois, absolutely, the first and only ever Chelsea goalkeeper to be beaten by a shot from the halfway line vis-a-vis Charlie Adam. Remember that one man, the floor will forever keep opening up for him for that. So this happened, and he's still a fantastic goalkeeper. So this happens, but week after week, no. He's on a very, very short fuse, especially if Petrovic is a capable goalkeeper. He's not going to last. Honestly, he's on the bench, whether he likes it or not. We can't do this. We
And
can't do
and,
this.
and even if
And
Sanchez improves, we need Kovacic, Petrovic to play a few games so that he can. Yeah,
so he
Sanchez
can keep.
will stop taking things for granted,
Yeah,
because you can
absolutely.
argue to him now there's no competition.
Well, I
There's
think
yeah.
playing Petrovic against Brentford is not a bad idea. The only thing is, another thing that keeps giving Sanchez the favor is his experience in the Premier League and knowing these teams. But I think starting him at Brentford is not a bad idea before the cup game that's coming up in the League Cup. Also, another thing is that in that game against Arsenal, Sanchez did this several times before the goal was scored. He short passed Caicedo once and almost caused Caicedo to do a duff pass to our right back, and he did it to Enzo twice. First time, Enzo managed to recover just about. Second time, it caused the goal. So this is now too much, because this team, as young as they are, and
They
lacking
don't
in.
need that.
No, they don't, because they're young. And if you start to put them on the back foot, they will struggle. One goal, of course, led to two, and very nearly even led to three. That shows just how young and inexperienced they are. And just to buttress my point about key players, we had to bring a still somewhat unfit Reece James off the bench to replace Mudryk. So, that story tells itself. And I just wish for once, these pundits just speak fairly, objectively, just like Terry Flewers did. He gave his opinion before the game, and that was okay, because anybody would have said more or less what he said, especially as a neutral. But after the game, as a neutral, he spoke candidly and bluntly. I have to say something. When it comes to neutrals and fairness towards Chelsea, so far in recent times, I name two people. Certainly on social media, Terry Flewis, who is quite clearly a Man United fan and doesn't always blow smoke up our backside. He's
No,
quite
he
rough.
doesn't always.
No, he doesn't. He's quite tough and, he doesn't want the best for us always. But when it comes to objectivity as a neutral in a game that Man United have no skin in the game, he is often very, very insightful and objective. And he says things, even as a fan of whatever club, is difficult to argue. Another person I continue to call out his name as a somewhat neutral is yet again another ex-Man United. And not that all ex-Man Uniteds are fair to us. Quite a few of them, vis-a-vis Mr. Gary Neville, Mr. Roy Keane, are quite negative, and they beat that negative drum hard on Chelsea. But Rio Ferdinand never does that, and he has my utmost respect. I used to think, wow, and to consider that he's never even been near the Chelsea setup, neither him or his family. They all came through West Ham, who is another bitter rival of ours and hate us like poison. I'm quite surprised he can be so balanced, but he's so balanced not just with us, with every other team, and that's what they're there for.
He's a
That's
good pundit.
Yeah, that's what we look for. I'm not switching on to match of the day to watch people who have issues with my club. Go away. Go and do that on a forum that is created for that. But I pay my taxes. I pay my TV licenses. Why am I listening to this crap off of you? And that's why I come out against it, because I have a right to. I pay money for neutrality, and what am I getting? But that aside, we did so well yesterday. I'm very proud of the performance. I'm upset, like every Chelsea fan is, and rightly so, about the result. But hey, look, this is one of those. We have to take it, dust ourselves down, and please let's continue building on this, because I tell you what, just as I said on your platform yesterday, Coach, people, be afraid, be very afraid. If and when Chelsea get their key players back and the team is further down the line in their rehearsals as a team, and we buy the clearly needed striker and possibly goalkeeper, we have ownership that are not afraid to invest in the playing staff, and they prove that by breaking the British transfer record twice in one season. First with Enzo, then with Caicedo. Well, no, the British one with Caicedo, but Enzo, I think it was a British record, I think, for an international player, something like that. I can't remember. But they hit a record. Even if they didn't, they crossed the 100 million mark, which is serious money. These guys aren't playing. And I've started, well, I've always appreciated them. I appreciate them. I appreciate the difficulty of building a team from scratch with short-term, medium-term, and long-term vision and financial vision within FFP. We have to take our hats off to these guys. And I'm praying for our success, because that will justify such an effort coming for Chelsea Football Club. Bless you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Just give me 1 second. I'll get everything in the chat. Man of the match, Palmer, Cucurella, or Gallagher. Who else comes into that for? I think to set three of them.
Oh, by the way, Coach,
Mhm.
just before I shut up and give someone else a chance to talk, I've got to say the midfield. You even mentioned it. That midfield trio, Enzo, Caicedo, Gallagher. Arsenal could not cope. Arsenal with Rice, Odegaard, and Jorginho, they couldn't handle them. They were screaming for Thomas Partey, but I think Arteta was right, because Partey is far too similar with Rice to play them both, even as sixes. You lose something offensively. So they were completely outclassed in midfield. and kudos to them, to these three. All three of them are very young players. Imagine, of the three of them, the senior one is 23-year-old Conor Gallagher, who people were slating all season. I think it's time we started showing that kid some respect. I hope he gets his contract, and I tell you what, Lavia's going to have to go some to get into that midfield trio, because they're beginning to cook well.
I think Lavia will most likely be rotating with either Enzo or or Casado. Most likely Casado. I think
Yeah, good
Gallagher.
challenge.
Yeah, Gallagher brings something that not any of them cannot bring. The only person that's close to Gallagher in terms of his energy, is Cucurella, but he's a left back. If you get my point. So let's give those in the chat the microphone. Sir?
Isn't it wonderful that for the first time in how many years? 3 years, we have a midfield. You can sit back and relax. These guys have it in order. You know what I mean? The engine room is ticking.
Yeah,
Because
our midfield is sorted out for years, and we still have
yeah,
two excellent young stars on loan in Casade and also the Brazilian Andres Santos. Yeah, so we sorted out in that department, in my opinion. So this one here from Chelsea all the way. Big up Coachila in the chat. Big up to you too, Chelsea all the way. I hope you're doing well. And Rick Campbell, I will want to give credit to the owner of Chelsea. The talent on display is beautiful to watch, and there's still more to join the group. Yeah, we have a lot of players on loan. Here's the thing: the only thing, if you can say banking on only the youngsters and not sign experienced players, it would take time before everything gels properly. But I'm all for it. If that's the road we want to take, yeah, I'll wait. But the future is Chelsea's. And I don't care what anybody else thinks. But thank you, Rick Kemp, for joining. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. 40 likes. But honestly, I think we should be doing better than that. Terry needs to hush. I am reading Potter to United rumors. Yeah, I read that too. That if Rack Life, how do you pronounce his name? Jim, if Mr. Jim takes over Man United, he wants to hire Potter. And the rumors are also that Napoli also are interested in Potter. If Chilwell played this intense game, he would have gotten injured again. Oh yeah, I have to say this is the delicious comment of the day. I
and
agree
it's
with
true.
you. Yeah, I, I agree with you. He wouldn't have lasted 90 minutes. I agree with you on that one. Honestly, I scored a pen. Okay, elaborate. Coach, remember I told you this midfield of three is good for big teams. See how they dominate the midfield. They did well. They did well. Matson would have been a good on at least. He defends well, puts pressure. I think I would have loved to see him too. As well as we are, yes, Bobby, facts. But they never mention it. They rather tell us we spent 300 billion. That's how they operate. Starling wanting to steal penalty from Palmer. That guy showed his selfishness. He shouldn't have done that. I think it looks like what transpired. You can say what happened when he wanted to take it from Palmer showed that the group has agreed that Palmer will be the designated penalty taker. Maybe the deputy, but right now it seems like they've chosen him, and he's good at it. A cool, calm, collected, nonchalantly, actually, in my opinion. I am glad Enza told him to just go away. Yeah, go away indeed. Big up to you too, EE. I hope you're doing well. James injury, carry him in glad fast. Yeah, let's see. James, I hope once he recovers fully, I hope he stays fit, honestly. If Mudryk said he meant it, then he meant it. It's as simple as that. Looks sketchy, but I'll ride with the wave. Here's the thing, we don't know.
I think he
He
meant it,
is the only one that knows what he wanted to do. Sorry, Ty?
It actually looked like he meant it. If you look back at from the other angle where before he hits it, you can see that he takes a glance to see where the goalkeeper is.
Thank you. That's what
Yes,
I argued
meant
yesterday too. That's how I see it. But we all see things from different lenses. But we can argue all we want. It's a goal, and Mudryk's to Mudryk's name. It wasn't cancelled. It went into the back of the net. If you count how many goals he scored, that one counts. So it doesn't matter. Let's see. Sanchez repeated errors. I can tank this
Coach,
review
what is that?
and purchase momentum. Sorry, Ty, go ahead. Go ahead, Ty.
No,
What
the
were you
way that
saying?
you said all of that. If you check his goals, it's got.
Yeah, it counts. It counts. It wasn't cancelled. That's the thing. I blame Kepa. Yeah, I know it was his fault, right? Uh, and Nemanja don't understand. This is what you get when everything for a goalkeeper nowadays is playing from the back instead of actually stopping the ball from getting hitting the net. Here's the thing. It aids the tactics. It depends on the manager. It aids the tactics. Even Mourinho, his goalkeepers they do play out from the back, but it's just that they don't do it as much as some other managers. That's just the difference. But I get your point. I'm not sure what else to say. Highly doubt Sanchez would make these errors if these defenders didn't constantly pass back to him. Oh yeah. What are you saying? Do we need a scientist to find out that? I think Constantine Dante, Chimera, you're now a tapping merchant yourself. Constantine Dante has said that 1,000 times. Maybe we shouldn't be passing that much to him. And I agree. We still have a very young team, and we still lack chemistry. We're not properly rehearsed, as Bobby would put it. So let's just be gradual with that and not pass too many times to him until we're properly rehearsed and the chemistry matures properly. Then then we won't be seeing such mistakes or disjuncted displays. If that makes sense. But let's see what happens next. Nemanja didn't know that. Okay, I understand you. Okay, let's see what else. Well, big up to you too, Raphael. Nice to see you. I appreciate you joining. Gallagher is miles ahead of okay, if that's your point. But you don't have to name call. I don't want anybody to block you again. I want you to keep doing well until you become a mod yourself. Palmer has become an essential player, honestly. Here's the thing: when we signed him, I knew we signed a good player. A lot of people weren't happy with signing them. There are
Palmer
much
is
there are
pure
much
class.
sorry.
I said Palmer is pure class. I don't even know how we managed to get this player, but
He
I
asked to
think that
leave.
is karma for De Bruyne for sure.
We got our revenge. But here's the
Yeah,
thing: he asked to leave, and Pep is like that. Once you ask to leave, you're gone.
you can. Well, that's why I say it's karma for De Bruyne because I
Yeah,
think De Bruyne
yeah,
kind
he
of
did
asked
ask
to
to leave
leave
too. Yeah.
after Mourinho discouraged him. But they've really enjoyed having him, and I can see us having the same joy out of this absolute diamond. The guy's a baller for sure.
Yeah, and Chimera, here's the thing. I see you're defending yourself. You did a tapping on Dante, so that's what we do here. Lots of tapping. That's how we operate. It just simply means we think alike. But yeah, Palmer for me, well, he's the most intelligent player at Chelsea right now. I need to see more from the others to say maybe they measure him or they compete. Coach, it's Gallagher's fault. Sanchez misplaced that pass. No, it was Sanchez's fault, in my opinion. Even if Gallagher missed it, Sanchez should have read it and see that the ball is headed to Declan Rice and should have quickly, immediately changed his position to be in the central area of the goalpost. But he didn't. He stood there and was still dwelling on the mistake he's made. In my opinion, I would never blame Gallagher. Matson has no pathway in this team. Yeah, I think you said that before. It's clear. The manager doesn't look like he sees him as a left back. Even the area where the manager likes to play him, we're packed in that area. So yeah, there's no pathway here. They're only trying to get him to put pen to paper, probably to sell him and get a sizable fee from his sell. Nkunku Ankani will soon be back. Cuckoo and Colwell have the left back position. Mudryk, Palmer, and Stalin are all flying. Yep, I think I agree with you. Except if, but I would take Martin over Chilwell. I don't know. Here's the thing. And whether give me a fully fit Chilwell, I'll still take a Cucurella, for instance. Yeah, let's start from
I would
there.
take myself over Chilwell.
Yeah, me too. I go Cucurella. Cucurella's got his place back. all day long.
He
And
has, yeah.
if anybody's pushing him, it's Martson. I can't see. Chilwell is a bit part player as far as I'm concerned. And if he complains, he should go and find somewhere and sit down and watch the game, because he is never going to give us a full season.
He
Never.
will not. It's a pattern now. For how many seasons in a row? It's getting to the fourth season where he gets injured, and the rest is whenever he comes back. Yeah,
And it's only going
unfortunately.
to get
Yeah, I
worse.
mean, we
Yeah,
always say the best. We always say that the best ability is availability, and he doesn't
oh
really
yeah,
have
that
that.
reminds me of
I
Monster
mean,
FC.
Very true.
I mean,
That is such a good statement
It is.
in football terms.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean,
Unfortunately,
I mean, from the first red flag for me is the fact that we signed him injured. He was injured and we signed him, and I think he only came into the team in October. I think it was in the League Cup, and then after that he played against Everton. But yeah, Chilwell has barely been available, and when he's available, he doesn't really show much for it. I don't know. It's depressing. Conversation needs
Yeah,
to
I
be
mean,
had
just
for
as a
both him and
disclaimer,
James if James gets injured again.
just as a disclaimer here for what we're saying, we are not attacking or being disingenuous or being unkind to injured players, because people don't mean to get hurt. But the fact that you have a
Right.
deficiency and your body is not up to it, you should not be making demands. You should be very humble when you get game time. I remember we had this fantastic player in the 90s during the Zola, Viali time, Gus Poyet. Gus Poyet was awesome. He was the Cole Palmer stroke. You think of any offensive midfielder that's the best in the world. That's what he was for us. If Gus was on the field, we're guaranteed at least a goal. He was so effective. Left foot, right foot, header, positional play. He was great, but he was injury prone. So Gus did not worry when, if he was fit, he had to come off the bench. He liked to start. He was very, he's a Uruguayan chap, pure Latin, very emotional. But one where he never allowed his emotions to leak into was when he was called off the bench. And as such, because of that, he was one of those players that was so good, we always overplayed him, then he'll go off injured again. But what annoys me about Chilwell is all this, I have to be captain, then he's vice captain, then he has to play.
he,
Nah,
he
come
actually
on,
started the
man.
campaign like he was a politician even before it
Yeah.
was started.
I'm like, come on. You and I know we're lucky to even have you half the season. So just be humble. Take your time when you're there. We'll love you if you try, but don't expect to play. And that expectation is what everybody's getting upset with him about.
I just wish we sold him when Man City wanted him. Honestly, if we were to believe that rumor, Palmer, what a player. Let's see what else we have here. People having conversations. Coach, even Green Tough says Enzo fans are biased. Kinda. I'm not saying he's not been perfect all since he joined us. He's not been perfect, but he's an excellent
Who
player in my opinion. Enzo.
who said that?
Let's see. He said
Oh,
Greentop says,
Enzo.
I didn't know Dante was speaking facts before I got it. So you think you're the only one that speaks facts? Coach, I was being sarcastic about Gallagher. I know you love him. I know you love him. Thanks. You asked a question there, so I answered. I did again. Yeah. But good morning, coach, and everyone. A lot of people, Mr. Like, good morning to you. I appreciate you finding time to join. Coach, please stop living in social. Go away. Many fans love Gallagher and hate those of us and Casado. Here's the thing: it depends on who you ask. Honestly, it depends on who you ask. We have good midfield. That's all I can say right now. That miss from Jackson Broya would have scored that. I don't agree. Broya is still match rusty, in my opinion. Jackson also wasn't fully fit. He had to leave the Senegalese national team camp because he underwent a surgery. he went under the knife for his wrist injury. Chelsea will beat a team's I want to revenge against Manchester United. Ty has shared the link to his YouTube channel. Please go check it out. Let's help him add a cushion to 1,000 subscribers. That will go a long way. All of you in the chat, please go check it out. I'd really appreciate that. Let's see what else we have here. Ampadu, again, you having a conversation with him. Let's see what else we have here. Is that Ampadu's picture? Was that why he called you Ampadu? I was sure Cuckoo was going to do well on the left, but since he was able to perform on the right. He's a revelation. He's been a revelation for a few games right now. Coach, if Matson is leaving instead of Cucurella, he should go to Juventus or Atalanta. I don't care where he goes. I just want him to do well. I like him, but it's not too late yet. We've triggered the extension on his current contract, which means he has just about 2 years left right now or so. Is that correct me if I'm wrong? Yeah, I think about 2 years left. So we still have time to sort things out, to decide whether, okay, are we going to let him go in January or does he have a place in this team? Because if you ask me our opinion, we need a left back, and rumors are we're interested in signing Inter Milan's left back and also French international Theo Hernandez. But we'll find out what the club does. Let's see, Coach. If Gallagher was Argentinian, people would like him. I think I agree. People like him even more. Good day, the Prince is here. Always nice to see you, the Prince. Good day. I'm happy Sunday to you, my Chelsea family. Longest time. I'm very happy to be back. I hope you're well. More importantly, hopefully you've been absent because you've been busy. That's what we'd like to see. That the show doesn't pay you, and bills don't pay themselves. Enzo and Casado just traveled, guys, and they did incredible job throughout the game. Gallagher was sensational. Muniesa, I agree with you. Gallagher did very well. Enzo and Casado did very well too, and the travel didn't help. That's why I hate the international break. I think he breaks our momentum. He played well. And you say 777 Mudryk man of the match for you. You could argue, and I don't even know why the manager took him off. It just didn't make sense to me. We were still leading at the time, and Arsenal, even when they're not leading, they play a high line. So had he stayed on the pitch, there would be spaces for him to exploit. I just didn't know why the manager took him off. It didn't make sense to me, and he hasn't explained why, and nobody has asked him. To me, Coach cost us these 3 points. Substitutes are best players at the time. It's questionable. I think a lot of people have said that too.
What could you coach?
Sorry? Not me.
How could you coach?
No, I'm not the one
But I said so.
I'm not the one he was talking about. You should know that. Can someone explain to me why ex-Chelsea players never back Chelsea, while other ex-players back their former clubs? I don't know. And the person that to me has said the most horrible thing about Chelsea, what's his name? The former French international. What's his name? I can't quite remember his name. He even went on a rant someday and was actually, you could say saying some nonsense about the new owners. I was like, wow.
But you mean Frank Leboeuf?
Yeah. I couldn't believe it. That was an emotionally. Here's the thing, just quickly, Bobby. That rant of his at the time was emotionally driven. He wasn't sensible, not objective. Didn't even was just saying some nonsense about the ownership, some nonsense about the players who signed. I couldn't believe that. He, as a pundit, wasn't objective. He was just, I was like, why is he letting his emotions drive, you can say, his opinion on a panel, on live TV? I couldn't believe it. But let's hear you, Bobby. You wanted to say something.
What the problem is when the people that pay your wages, B Sky B, all these big time financiers, not that they are directly involved, but they employ their directorship and their executive management of like minds, and they are sports people, and people tend to feel that because somebody has a position that they don't have a sentiment. You, coach, would never stop being a Chelsea fan, even if you became the governor of a state in America. Now, if Chelsea come and play if it's Atlanta, your team, Atlanta in Georgia, I believe it is. They come and play your team. You will try and be balanced, but deep down in your heart, if Chelsea beat them, you'll have a little skip and a dance, and then you get on with
The
your
only
business.
time I wouldn't
Now,
support Chelsea is that if I own the club they're playing against, and it would still
yeah,
be an emotional stuff.
it will be a
But
bit.
go ahead.
It will
Yeah.
always be an emotional turmoil. So they're human beings. Now they then employ, favor, promote, and court those of like mind. That's why you have them in media. People like Sky and all that is filled with all these Liverpool supporting now because they're trying to bring ladies into the whole thing. Nearly every lady there is a Liverpool fan. It's done. It's a deliberate thing. Or their pundits are all Liverpool players. It's a deliberate thing. So the Chelsea players come there knowing the politics, and they try to either dampen down with what they say and are controlled vis-a-vis Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank yesterday. I saw him biting his tongue a couple of times, but he likes to be paid, so he doesn't want to overdo it. The only ex-Chelseas that are pretty strong, and they don't have them on much, is when they have John Terry on there, he's quite blunt. He says it as it is, and he's polite. To be fair, Frank Lampard is very, very polite, but Lampard comes from a footballing family. Lampard, Redknapp, they're pretty strong in football circles and in the media anyway. So he can tend to say a bit more than your average person. But someone like Frank Leboeuf, who wants ESPN to keep paying his wages, um, uh, uh, Craig Burley, who's the worst, who's been completely bought, they will do anything to speak out against Chelsea because they know the ownership and their employers enjoy that. That's just the truth. It's the truth that most people will fear to speak. I don't know why, because they are living off us. If you remember that you pay their subscriptions for this nonsense, you'll get angry and you'll speak out because you have a right to. That's not what we're paying for. This is what you call deceptive trade, because they're telling us that they're unbiased and they're balanced and they're giving us objective views, but they're not. That's just the truth. And so this is a con, and they need to stop it or return our refund our subscriptions, because that's not what we're
Hmm.
paying for.
Yeah, thank you so much. Ty, did you want to add something? Okay. Let's see. Can someone? Yeah, exactly. It's just for me, if you express your opinion and try as much as you can to be objective, I can understand. But he was not objective on that particular day, in my opinion. Coach, you watched Bayern for the first time. Tuchel
He was
dropped
talking as a Chelsea fan.
Opa Maguire, Upamecano. You can say he's Tuchel's biggest problem in that defensive line. Who was saying something? Sorry, somebody say something. Okay.
I was talking. I
Ty,
was saying that he was talking as a
go ahead, Ty.
um. I was saying that he was talking as a Chelsea fan. He was frustrated because if you listen to other instances where he's talking, he's saying that it's embarrassing because there's certain players that are inexperienced. We haven't signed anybody that we haven't signed a lot of experienced players. We have a very young team, and the team is regressing.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this. I think, in my opinion, I think that day he was a fan, but on that day he was a pundit first of all. If you because I get it. He should try and not let his emotions drive what he's saying. That was horrible, really. He was not objective. He was just going like a typical Chelsea fan, but that shouldn't be happening because he's a pundit. You get my opinion. Um, but let's see. Constantine Dante, I think I'm gonna give you more power. Let me change your this in here. So I'm gonna do this two process. Do this first of all. Okay, you're already a manager moderator, so let me leave it as it is. I thought you wanted a manager moderator. Let's just say beat them. I remember my classmates were posting Arsenal would beat us. A lot of people, they didn't give us a chance. Nobody gave us a chance. The pundits and rival fans alike. The way Mudryk plays nowadays shows the amount of work he's been putting in training. That guy is a serious hard worker. Defensively and offensively, he looks a different player. Mudryk is still poor, and he moans. He moans too much. I think Mudryk will get a chance. And remember, that sort of game yesterday, he's still a kid and will only, he was confused a bit.
And
I think
Mudryk is himself just coming back from injury. He needs time.
He's just returned from injury.
He's been out of the team, and what people tend to always forget with Mudryk, he was injured right through pre-season, so he too hasn't had a pre-season. So it's all, he's having his pre-season now. So they need to cut the kid some slack, and indeed the manager some slack for not picking him always. And I'm 100% behind Pochettino for publicly dropping him after that silly behavior of his that these kids sometimes do, going to a party publicly on social media while you're injured and the team is struggling with injured players. I mean, that's indiscipline. And he was disciplined. It's done, dusted. So let's get behind this kid. He's a good player, but he needs
He will
time.
come good, and we can see that. Offensively, he looks a different player. But I get your argument there. Frank Lebel is right. If you have the right to think he's right. It's your opinion. But to me, I think he wasn't being objective. That's just my only argument here. Listen, one thing is when you speak, when whatever you're saying is driven by your emotions, I won't know and I don't trust it. So, but when you're calm and speak calmly, then you speak objectively, then I listen to you and know there's something to learn from what you're saying. If that makes sense. Let's see what else we have here. Was searching for the name Greg Bally. That guy is an embarrassment as an ex-Chelsea player. Seems he's angry when Chelsea do well. Also, I don't care. He should, honestly. Unless it was absolutely not true. Okay, Otis, not true. Bally, he give it to everyone, even team. He's not biased, not to Chelsea. Or here's the thing: it depends on who you ask. Let's see. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. The commentator was also too biased yesterday during the game. He's praising Arsenal for nothing, even when we were leading, calling for penalty when it wasn't, all sorts of things.
That's standards. Standard Sky Sports.
Yeah, and this Peter Drewley. Yeah, go ahead.
And that's standard Sky Sports. That's what they do to us all the time. And that's why we have to call them out, because we are paying for this. We're paying for this. Our subscriptions. Do you know that the Sky Sports channel is the most expensive tariff of all of them? It's almost 3 times as much as any other tariff. They're raking it up. Now, fine, make your money, but don't do false advertising. Don't tell me that you don't have a bias against my club, whereas it's blooming obvious. And stop it. That means you're lying to me and you're taking my money under false pretext. So we have every right to call them out and get on platforms and tell them about what they're doing. They've got to stop it. It's wrong, and they've done it for decades. It's out of order. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. And Munesa, thank you for that. And Constantine Dante, that's just a ballish character. Doesn't matter who is. Please, can I have some more power? I already gave you. I think you're a manager moderator. Yeah, I checked it. I was going to say, okay, let me remove you as you're already a manager moderator, so you can actually do it not beyond. You can do more than just time out somebody. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go a long way. Of course, injuries. Let's see what else we have here. Next news headline: Poch gets injured from coaching Chelsea. Yeah, because injury is a Chelsea thing. Oh my goodness, that's just hilarious. I pulled a hamstring watching Chelsea yesterday. Am I shocked? No.
I think we had a coach one time that got an injury while coaching the team. Somebody
Really?
did. Was it Potter? Somebody went. He got some bit of a. He was celebrating and then he was hanging on to his hamstring. Or was it Tuchel?
Was it Tuchel?
Someone.
Who
I
was it?
think it's
Was it
Tuchel.
Mourinho? I think
Oh,
I
Marie. What?
remember.
Yeah, but you remember. You know what I'm talking.
It was during the game, yeah, and felt the
Only
pen. I think it
Chelsea.
was Mourinho.
Yeah,
He
only
he
Chelsea.
ran. Sorry,
I said only Chelsea. It's
only
only
Chelsea.
Chelsea
Yeah,
who get this kind of
yeah,
crazy madness.
yeah. I do agree. Good to see you here, Francis Dave. I hope you're doing well. Good coach. We could have won. Yeah, but lots of positives than negatives. So I'll take that. Quickly, I'll look at this. Here's what I'm learning from this. If you see Arsenal's most, you can say their their defenders got high rating. That shows you how much we were on them. They defended well. Yeah, fortunately for them. But that shows you, yeah, and our attackers got the highest rating in our own side on our own side, which shows you our attackers they did well. From the midfielders, Sterling did well, but I think not. I think at one point he got lost in the game, in my opinion. Klopp, was it Klopp? Did it happen to Klopp? Okay, well, so it wasn't Chelsea, but I think something similar might have happened to Mourinho. I can't quite remember, or maybe I'm mixing it up with that of Klopp. I saw here Mihailo Mudryk after the game. There's so much disappointment. The whole team is really upset now. I think we have to win this match, but maybe we lost our concentration for 10 seconds. And in football, things can happen quickly. When you lose concentration, it can be really bad for you. We just lost concentration for 10 seconds, but football is fast. That's all it takes. But we are still feeling good. I think we are going the right direction. We are really disappointed that this was only a draw, but we just have to keep moving forward, working in this way and looking for wins. I think now, at the moment, we have more confidence than we had before. We just have to keep going in the right direction. As Bobby would say, this would do them a world of good. I think that's a serious confidence booster. I get it. It was a draw. And Pochettino on Robert Sanchez, we are so happy with him. Of course, he's disappointed and upset with his decision, but mistakes happen in football. This goal gave the belief to Arsenal. We said that yesterday. If it wasn't for that mistake, Arsenal was still struggling still at that point, but that goal gave them confidence. And we were lucky actually ended in a draw because they had the momentum until the end of the game. We can maybe read better the situation, and he didn't read that well. Like I said, I explained after he made that mistake, he should have read the situation and find out the ball was going. The ball was going to rise and then readjust, change his position, come to the central area of the sticks and be ready to stop it. And there's no way Rice could have scored from that place because somebody, yeah.
It was just fate that Rice was supposed to score against us. That it was just fate.
You can say that, yeah. We can maybe read better the situation, the tempo, the timing. We can take risks on 77 minutes because it's our philosophy. But maybe it's another decision you can take. It's not to blame someone. It can happen. It will arrive with time when to be calm and when to take risks. I think we did talk about that today also. Part of our issue yesterday, the issues we had yesterday was that lack of our ability to manage game. We didn't manage the game because had we managed the game well and not always looking to bump forward all the time, they will come at us. Take our time. Don't be too much in a hurry. They will come at us and then find spaces to exploit the fact that they're coming to get equalizing goals. But like the manager mentioned here, I'm glad he's paying attention. We will learn from it. But maybe there's another decision you can take. It's not to blame someone. It can happen. It will arrive with a time when to be calm and when to take risks. And we are still a really young team getting to know each other. We can only get better. And if you ask me, I'd say once more, we are actually ahead of time. Arsenal fans are happy to draw, while we fans, since we've been mid-table, it's not acceptable. And plus, we had no business drawing that game. The 3 points were all for the taking for us, and we didn't. Sanchez was passing to Gallagher, and Gallagher ball watched, but at the same time, yeah, it was still. If you take your time again, it still comes back to Sanchez, in my opinion. Let's see, Cucurella. To me, what a player he's become. Again, Cucurella. If we play like this going forward, I am sure we can have a good reason, a good season. We have only played 8 or 9 games, so there's still a lot of matches to play and a lot of points to be won. We need to improve and keep our building. Let me ask you this, Jersey. Cucurella, he showed how well he can play in the left, right back position, left back. And we have Marlo Gusto back now and Rich James back for Saturn. The question is, how long is he going to stay fit? Yeah, given how well Cucurella is playing, I don't see Chilwell. It wouldn't make sense that Chilwell comes back and then displaces him. It has to be that maybe he plays badly and Chilwell comes in and shows he can do better. Because Chilwell returning, it doesn't guarantee him starting over Cucurella, given how well he did. Let's hear you, Jerry, see if you're there.
Yes, sir. You are correct. And of course, there is no guarantee, especially in Pochettino's system and his philosophy, especially if he's given the authority as he was given at Tottenham, and now we can see he has given the authority by the owners and the board, and hopefully long it may continue. So yeah, but of course, 4 games, fantastic performance yesterday. For me, he was the man of the match because how he came back into the team in the last 3 games, playing at right back, and really surprised us. And he was really, really effective. And as I said before in the initial part of this telecast, that Saka, like the way he man managed and the way he completely like dominated Saka was really magic, you know. So yeah, I mean, again, like the way I analyze, my philosophy is not to when is Chilwell coming, right? A month, I guess, right? So I won't like just take into consideration that when Chilwell will come, what will happen, because we have to take game by game. Let's see what happens. But hypothetically, since you asked, if Cucurella plays like this, keep on playing like this, more or less, right? So yeah, it will be a very tough case for Chilwell to come back, and it's only good for us. And I can assure you that if Cucurella is playing this way, then I really don't see Chilwell, starting, uh, getting a start as often as he may have liked. And it's only good for us, and it can even elevate his game. So let's see what happens. Again, we have to see with Cucurella's contract and what happens in January. So yeah, it's great for us. The players are performing, they are coming back, they're showing passion and determination, and the only thing which we need is 3 points, right? And hopefully we can do that more, as the games go on. So yeah, I'm very happy with Cucurella and can see him playing as left back, which also helps to with Kobel playing at his natural position.
Yeah, more importantly, Bobby, let me ask you this, if you're there, Bobby. Um,
Hmm.
Given Cucurella's performance, right back, left back, do you think we're done with the Colwell left back experiment?
Well, it depends what you mean by done. I think in
Done in the
tactically,
sense that as long as Cucurella, in the sense that as long as Cucurella is fit enough to play, Colwell doesn't play left back because
well,
he executed that role better than Colwell.
yeah, I mean, we make this mistake, don't we? Which is a natural mistake to make, and deal with absolutes. You know, we have a player back, we have a player playing his position, and we're like, okay, we don't need anybody else who may be seconded in there ever to do that again. I think Colwell, I'm glad it's happened, and it showed us that it can happen. Football takes different turns, sometimes even within the course of one game. You might find that tactically you might need to switch to that. Have two centre backs, especially as our centre backs are coming in. I noticed Benoit Badiashile was on the bench. There may be such a time that he goes centre back, just as an example, and we shift. Um, uh, um, uh, uh, oh gosh, what's his name? We shift. What's our left centre back again?
But the Sheila,
No. Colwell.
Colwell, Liver Colwell, yeah.
Yeah, we shift Levi back to the left back. you know, all these permutations and all these flexibilities, rehearsed flexibilities, what makes a formidable team. I'm glad we've seen Cucurella at right back. That's just added to his uh,
Importance to the team, in my opinion.
exactly. And now he's done it. So we know he can. And we know in game, out game, whatever situation, he has that flexibility. Colwill, we've seen his flexibility in game, out game. We've also seen Cucurella as left centre back. Now he's not as good, but there are some games where we're less threatened by physicality, that it is a last resort that he could probably cover there. So this is all good. This is all good. And I'm saying, okay, in this game, there wasn't any need for Colwill to play left back. But there are games where that will need to happen. Maybe not even from the start, but as the, you know, things could happen. There could be injuries, there could be sending offs, there could be suspensions, you know, so I'm very flexible like that. I don't do absolutes in football, not if you want to be a grade A team that we are. And part of our strengths has always been that we've had flexible players. We've had, with, you know, the Aspilicuetas of this world, Rudigers, who could play left centre back, right centre back. You know, we've had this. You know, players that can play centre back into defensive midfield. I mean, Jose, bless him, he used Kurt Zuma as a DM, and he didn't do badly. So, you know, we've got this, especially in our back line. And if there's one thing that we've got right already in this Chelsea team, and probably what is helping us, is our defense. Our goalkeeper is rubbish, unfortunately, but the defensive line is excellent. And now that we've got the midfield functional, approaching excellence, it can only mean well. So answering your question again, no, I think there's no such thing as a Colwell experiment. It's just an expansion of our flexibility and an increase in the rehearsal of the team's interchangeability, digging in, going into different strengths. And that's where it's at. You know, people get that also from your penalty taker. Now, I think we've found our penalty taker, as young as he is, although he's only
And it
taken.
looks like the group agrees.
Agree, that is so important, you know, and we take it from there. And that doesn't mean to say anybody else can't take penalties, because they're sure going to have to, you know, as we go into different competitions and so on. But if, you know, we're looking for a penalty taker, and I'm very happy with Cole Palmer, and of course Reece James, when he gets fit, the same thing. He's a good penalty taker, so it's all good.
We'll see if Reece James comes back, whether he becomes the designated penalty taker. We don't know whether Cole Palmer is currently a penalty taker, because
I doubt Reece James will, because we don't want him to, while striking the ball, pull a muscle or anything. So we're good. We're good with Cole Palmer.
Not that I want to go to heaven, and you're not going to be the one to make anything this happen. This is the reason why football should be kept simple. When the goalkeepers are turned to Fabregas, here's the thing: goalkeepers these days, if you're able to play with your feet, you're a hot commodity, and that's because it's part of the strategy now. Yeah, playing out from the back aids the tactics, in my opinion. Big up Coachila DJ. So always nice to see you, brother. In the panel, Sanchez was Arsenal's best player yesterday. Was shocking yesterday for me. He will cost us matches. He needs to be dropped. Looks to it's two calamitous for you. Here's the thing, and that is not good for a young team like us. We need confidence. We don't need a goalkeeper that when you pass the ball to him, you start panicking. And if he continues playing, I'm gonna say this, I've said it before, chances are I would see him mistrap a ball and the ball goes into the net, because he mistrapped it. But let's move on. Chilwell being vice captain is probably the worst decision Poch has made this season. We're not sure whether it was his decision or whether they had to vote. I'm not sure.
Concur. I concur. That was bad. I mean, that should be Gallagher's. You know, yeah. You know, because Reece James is our best player, we can keep hoping he gets fit, but after James, it should be Gallagher. That Chilwell thing, I don't know. I don't know how we were conned into that.
Yeah, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go a long way. I appreciate you all. Chilwell should return to be a backup. I think that's the most sensible thing. That would be the most sensible thing to do. He shouldn't just displace Cucurella because he's returned or because of his pedigree and all that. Cucurella has, in my opinion, always the better player. If you ask me to choose, I'd choose him. Just for one most important reason, the fact that he's able to progress the ball, even if you have 2-3 players on him and capable of finding passing lanes where one doesn't exist. Do we have that in Chilwell? No. Once you have a single player marking Chilwell, he goes backwards or sideways. I'm not even sure Chilwell can play 10 games in a row without a break. Yeah, he's been consistent at doing that for the past 3-4 seasons right now. Play 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe. Then by the time we get to the 5th game, he's out for another 20 games, unfortunately. Vice captain must be very difficult to jettison. I'm not sure what word is that. Constantine Dante, just saying hello to him. DJ, much love to you, brother. When we needed to score attack, Chilwell can come on a best role. I can see for him, but will he accept that? Then if anybody pays up, he leaves. I'm glad he signed a new contract. If he doesn't accept it, he has to move on. We need a capable left back. And then if we decide to keep Cucurella, if he continues to perform, if he continues to perform, why do we have 2 Rogers here? If he continues to perform, I just went out. I think he has having a connection issues. If he continues to perform, then we have another capable starting, another left back capable of starting and in his place, and who capable of doing an equally good job or an even better job. We need competition, but right now, in my opinion, I'd say Chilwell isn't a competition to Cucurella, honestly. Even if you think he's good enough, you tell me he hardly stays fit. That's just I'll counter your argument with that. And Ty has said already on the panel, availability is the best ability. Yeah. So let's see. Silva carried Cowell for the entirety of the game. It is time to give Badiashile a run. Here's the thing, I don't blame Cowell. He's been playing as a left back. Even though if you bring on the argument that, yeah, but he's a center back, mainly a center back. I tell you, at his age, playing left back, then coming back to play center back, it doesn't help. I think he will serve us well in the center back area, in my opinion. But that's just me. Mitch McConnell is in the chat. I don't like you, man. You politician there. But I hope you're doing well, Mitchy. Find time. Share the link to your channel. If you have any shows scheduled, share the link so people can go check it out. And people, please go subscribe to Mitchy Boy's YouTube channel. Let's help him get to 1,000 plus. Keep him encouraged. He's doing a good job. And I'm glad he understands that right now views are low for everybody. Even the big accounts, we're not big accounts yet, but we understand. It's a pattern I'm familiar with. Sometimes it drops like that, and it will come back again. Roger Holler to you from Mitch Boy there. Mitch McConnell is in the house. I agree. Let's see what else we have here. While we are here complaining about Sanchez, Arsenal debating if Mudryk was on papers or if their goalkeeper was whatever you say there. I'm happy. At least we've given them something to chew on. Let them take their time and chew on it and see how it tastes. I don't care whether it was deliberate, whether it was accidental. He went into the back of the net. I've said this 10 times now, and I'm happy they are chewing on it. Let them take their time. Don't chew it in a hurry. They could not have named Gallagher vice captain if they weren't even sure about his future early in the summer. Here's the thing: Gallagher is not the vice captain. The captain James, vice captain, what's his name? Ben Chilwell. I don't know if they have vice captain that will be the third in line. I don't care. Gallagher is doing a good job, and he has some things to still learn as a captain, and that would take time, in my opinion. Cucurella was excellent yesterday. He was excellent, did his job, And I've always said he comes across as erratic in his approach, but that approach is actually effective. He unsettled Bukayo Saka that he got frustrated at one point and was fouling Cucurella. Just the same thing he did that infuriated Jude Bellingham when he was still playing at Dortmund.
Not only that, coach, he had Martinelli in his pocket, and Martinelli is one of the fastest players I've ever seen. I mean, the way he caught up with Malo Gusto, who himself is incredibly fast, was amazing. But Cucurella, when Martinelli went over to the left and was trying to take him on, in fact, that was the reason Martinelli went to the right side, was because he couldn't get any joy off of Cucurella. He had a great game.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Chelsea Mitchell Boy, big up to Mitchell Boy, my brother from another mother there, and a good friend. One Roger too many. One Roger too. he couldn't miss that. Mitchell could not miss that. I think he saw you pop in twice, and I did say something anyway. I guess Gallagher did not get the vice captain because Chelsea had made 2 attempts to cash out on him. I don't think that's the case. It's difficult to appoint a player who was almost sold. Gallagher is establishing himself. I think he can only get better. And the key is a smart kid. He didn't want to leave. More importantly, he did say it openly. He would like to work under Mauricio Pochettino. It would be good if we can continue like this and start getting 3 points. And I pray the Brentford game will not be different. I think it would be different in terms of the sort of opposition we're facing on the day. I think the manager has shown that tactically he knows what he's doing. So let's see how we'll approach that game on that day. I still maintain that Enzo is overrated. His shots are awful. Get lost in the game most times. You're entitled to your opinion. His shots are awful. I'd say yes, but I think it's a temporary thing because he was good at River Plate and at Benfica in terms of getting goals. But let's see. Like I said, you're entitled to your opinion. Apparently, Havertz played in the second half for us. I don't remember seeing him, but let me not lie. I know when he came on, but didn't do much. Don't remember seeing him, and that's because he didn't have an impact.
He was instrumental in the second goal. So,
well, you can say that. Yeah. Enzo needs to improve in front of goal. I think with time, let's see what happens there. Chichinho, rubbish, and Havertz, trash. Wow. I'm not into reading your negative comments here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Let's see. Anybody else has any particular player they want to talk about? We're rounding off, but Mitchell Boy wants to come on. I don't know. We don't have too much time right now. Let me see. Anybody else has anything else to say?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh, okay. Roger Dodger. You've been so absent that when you're on the panel, I don't remember.
Thanks.
Yeah,
memorable.
Says,
I believe the term is memorable, huh? Hola, everybody.
Oh my goodness. Apologies, Roger. Honestly, I sincerely do apologize.
Yes.
Yeah, and you two would have ganged up on me had I done that.
Listen, I missed most of the show. I apologize, but
no. Roger, look. When last did you get a check from Chelsea Perspective? Let's hear you.
Last week, no. I just wanted to say...
Let me ask you this, Roger.
Yeah, go for it.
Well, maybe you have to, if you want to go with what you wanted to say, so that
no,
we can go.
Okay,
I want to ask you, how did we not win this one?
Yeah, that I think that's the question we should all be asking ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Really good question. Listen, it happens, and I think Mudryk summed it up quite nicely. We basically lost our concentration. Be honest with you, listen, I'm playing purely devil's advocate here, so no one crucify me for this, but we were actually lucky not to lose that game because our keeper came out and he took out, what's his name?
Arsenal. Let's just go with Arsenal players.
Yeah, he took out their number 9, and it was exactly like Onana did for Man U. It's a penalty all day long. As much as I hate to say it's the truth, I thought he was quite poor. I really do. Bobby, did you get the chance to see the game, to actually watch it, playback?
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, and also there was after our young heads dropped a bit after the first goal and the second goal, they nearly got a third with Nketiah. So in the end, we were slightly fortunate.
Yeah.
But I thought it was very.
Listen, I do agree we were lucky because Arsenal they've been awarded the most penalties. But go ahead.
Yeah,
this season, yeah.
But to be honest with you, go. Sorry, Bobby.
I would take the fortune because we certainly didn't deserve to lose the game.
No, I totally agree with you. I just wanted to point it out that, listen, anything and everything happens in the game potentially.
Mudryk was very gracious, saying we lost our heads. The only person that lost their head was the flipping goalkeeper.
Yeah,
who
I agree.
Is going to be very lucky if he plays the next game.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's valid, Bobby, as usual. Listen, I do agree that Cucurella did for virtually the entire game negate their right forward. I thought he did very well, but you have to understand that who crossed that ball for the second goal? Who was it? You had Mudryk and you had Cucurella 3-4 yards off him.
Yeah, it was Saka, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Lewis Saka. That's his name. And you know what? From a goalkeeper's perspective, that cross should have never come in. You've got 2 against 1. Why are you 3, 4, 5 yards off him? Close him down. It's that simple. That cross should never come in. Yeah, I'm wearing tinted lenses here, but it's the truth.
You're talking about the one that Trossard put away?
Yeah, that should not have been able to.
And he usually claims such balls, right?
Yeah, it's like he's left-footed. He's not going to cross it with his right. So this is what I'm trying to say. Cucurella did have a great game. However, he was culpable in that regard. Listen, you win as a team and you lose as a team. I have no problem with that. And I still have an issue with Malugastu. He twice switched off yesterday in the game, and the second time it cost us. Listen, he's young. I get it. It's a long game, and some of the greatest players that have ever put on boots have, switched off. Don't get me wrong, because listen, I said this last night. This was a very heavy pitch, and the first thing to go is your legs, then your brain. Your brain goes once you are exhausted, and with that much water on the ground, you're going to be exhausted. And they had the majority of the ball, even though
even Gallagher said his legs were so heavy.
Yeah,
I
said that at halftime. That's the one thing you can't afford to do. Is listen, Bobby and I. Listen, we live in a rock in the middle of the Atlantic, and all it does is bloody rain here. It makes Seattle, Washington look like Vegas. It rains a lot.
Especially yesterday, it rained the whole
Does it rain a lot in Washington?
Oh my God!
But I don't know. Honestly, I'm asking a serious question.
Yeah, it rains a lot here. Like I remember yesterday during the day, it was pouring down. I live in Ealing, and it's been raining.
The whole day it rained.
Yeah.
I'm asking about Seattle, Washington. You say it rains a lot.
Seattle, Washington. It rains a hell of a lot. It's got the highest suicide rate in the United States. Seattle.
Go ahead.
But yeah, it's very comparable. The British weather is very comparable to Washington State. So listen, there were good things. I think you can honestly say I don't agree with the analysis that the coaching staff took off the players, because none of these players played right back or goalkeeper, to be honest with you. Mudryk, you take off Mudryk because guess what? You want to, these guys are just constantly closing down people. We're not talking about distance covered, but also it's distance covered when you consider it's done in sprints. And the front three are normally substituted the most, apart from injuries, due to the fact that they are closing down, sprinting always. You see that virtually in every team transpire for the most part, on a consistent basis. So that's why they were being rotated out. What happens if God forbid one of them pulls a hammy? Then we'd be saying, why didn't the coaching staff substitute them earlier? You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, chaps. So this is from my perspective. Listen, I'm a fully paid up member of the goalkeepers union, but I thought he had a stinker last night. and he hasn't been exactly.
And it wasn't that error wasn't. He made it multiple times in that particular game.
Yeah, and he's done so throughout the season in his very early tenure. In this very, very short season thus far. But you must admit it cost us yesterday, and that's you have to say. And listen, every keeper has bloopers, especially in the modern game where the requirement to use their feet to be basically an outfield player.
But it becomes an issue, Roger, if you agree, just quickly, I'm sorry. It becomes an issue when a goalkeeper averages a single high-profile mistake per game. It's just that the ones he's made in the previous games that didn't lead to us conceding goals. That's why, we were able to not talk much about them. But go ahead, you're making an excellent point.
Sorry, Roger. I mean, if a goalkeeper has a clanger once in a season, Tex in this world, Courtois that I mentioned earlier. Okay, it's not nice, but it can happen. But this geezer is making them a regularity, and
he's consistent. I'll give him that.
At least he's consistent.
Hey, by the way, coach, don't be sorry when you don't mean it. I'm just kidding. Listen,
go ahead.
I thought the one person that stuck out, and you can say that Silva had a great game, that virtually every player had a really strong performance, like an 8 out of 10 plus. But I thought the player that stuck out, and I think said his or introduced himself to this league, was Palmer, because he was coming deep in the second half. And he was bossing the game.
Yeah,
he really was.
He's our Kevin De Bruyne returned.
Yeah, exactly. Well put, sir.
Yeah. When we had a conversation, who plays in the absence of Enzo, I think he can fulfill that role.
Oh yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. Now, I mean,
because he has the intelligence to know when to switch the ball from one place to the other. Go ahead, Roger.
I honestly believe that.
Sorry, guys. I don't want to use your platform as a campaign platform, coach. But honestly, please, Chelsea Football Club, sign up Gallagher to a longer contract. I think he's deserved it. I have to get. I'm going to be campaigning that. That guy, I think he's had enough stick. He's worked his way into that team.
Mm-hmm. So go ahead with the agenda, Bobby. Go ahead with the agenda.
Send me the link to sign the petition.
I actually think, seriously, chaps, I think Gallagher had an outstanding game. He really did.
He did very well, yeah.
But, Palmer, we've got a problem now, gentlemen, because there has to be justification as to why he doesn't start every week.
We have a good problem because he can't play every game.
Yeah, but based on what we've seen thus far, he looks like the real deal.
And you can say the manager agrees with you.
He's good enough and intelligent enough to play with anybody. Nkunku, he'll only enhance his game. Same with Jackson. Same with even Brozier. He's an asset. He's the Kevin De Bruyne. We sent Kevin De Bruyne to Man City for goodness knows how many years, and they've just sent him back to us, younger, fitter, better,
and taller.
Richard, just give me a few seconds, please.
Yeah, of course.
Just 1 second, please. Not the best from Casado. What we have here? Typical. I finally want to join. Yeah, we're rounding off now. I don't think you'll get to you. Dodgy Roger. Okay. You're insulting the chairman of the Goalkeepers Union. He took Colwell out, Roger.
Yeah, he took Colwell and Jesus. He really did. It was a penalty. Listen, you have to call it how it really is, and we were fortuitous.
I think it's him and Dante are both arguing that. Here's the thing. For me, I'm not too sure about that incident. But I'm quite sure, again, no matter how you see it, it could have gone either way, in my opinion. No, that was not a penalty. Sanchez hit his player first, so maybe that's what they considered. Go check Michibo's YouTube channel. Michi could have been on the panel right now, but because he came late, we don't have too much to talk about. I'm just accommodating Roger. Because you're, I'm not gonna say what comes to mind.
Because I'm part of the furniture. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, he's already on the panel. Go check out Mitchell Boy's YouTube channel. Let's help him add some cushion to the subscribers he has already. Dante, correct. Roger and the goalkeeper is issue. That's why he's the chairman of the goalkeepers union. He'll always protect his own. If he doesn't, he's not a good leader. No worries, Mitchell. That's what we do for ourselves. Cuckoo never gets tight. You can argue that, but my, he's improved. My phone is low. Yep, go charge it more. Kepa and Mendy had the same symptoms, panicking and making rash decisions. Kepa, I don't think any of them comes close to Kepa in terms of ball playing ability.
No, last year he was solid with his feet.
He has a different issue. The defenders force the issues, and it's mostly Silva always signaling others to pass back to the goalie. Wow, okay. It's a strategy, but the goalie happens to be who he is. Okay, Palmer is KDB 2.0 after 3-4 games. Not that. If you listen, I knew him before we signed him.
Yeah. Watch him for City. Watch him for the under-19s or the under-17s for England. He was outstanding.
He's one of only a few young players that I knew that much before we signed him.
Watch him in the Charity Shield when he scored against Arsenal. What a sumptuous goal with his head. The guy can score in all three phases, with right foot, left foot, and with his head. He's a very technical player, but more importantly, he makes very intelligent runs, and he's technical. He's blessed.
Makes intelligent runs, reads the game very well.
His IQ is huge.
That's why I say he can fulfill the Enzo role. Yeah. He can be the orchestrator, because watch him. What I like intelligence in every player.
And coach,
he reads the game and knows when to move from this side of the pitch to the other side of the pitch. Yeah, go ahead, Roger.
Yeah, and listen, this is very early on in his career, so I think the more he plays, the better he's going to be with regards to understanding other players and understanding what the coach wants to implement. So it's very good signs indeed. Very early, I admit, but I think it's worthy of praise. I think it's warranted.
It is. We'll play Brentford in 7 days. Then after that, we play.
Did you see their goals?
Portsmouth. We play Blackburn in a cup game.
Did you see Brentford's goals? They had two worldies.
I didn't see that. I didn't watch that particular game.
Yeah, they looked good.
Yeah, there was a question I wanted to ask Roger that I wanted us to round off with. Okay, what's our next feature? You see it on the screen. The next game will be Brentford, then Blackburn, then Tottenham. Let's see. Are you telling me Roger is responsible for Mendy's decline? I haven't said that. But before, let me try and remember what I wanted to ask Roger. But before that, it looks like Jerry Z was trying to say something.
Sorry,
Jerry, let's hear you, brother.
Yes, sir. No, I was when Bobby was talking about using the platform and talking about Gallagher. Of course, I got so happy, right? So
I you guys have a platform to continue your agenda. The two of you.
Because I also have the same agenda, right, for Gallagher. So I just said to send me the petition so I can sign it, right? And for the performance, I just wanted to add with everything we have been talking in the last 3 hours, from Gallagher to Palmer to everyone to Cucurella. We should give credit to Mauricio Pochettino, I would say, the way he has integrated, developed this team in this short space of time.
Yes,
should tell us that this guy is really underrated to the people who just see his silverware with Tottenham Hotspur, and we know why he suffered there to eventually win it. So now it's again, I'll say he has the financial backing and also the backing of the board. He is a world-class coach. That is why 90% of the experts in the industry really rate him high, and he has shown it. It was a masterclass from him. It was a masterclass from him yesterday, and I really hope we back him, and hopefully he'll be a long-term coach here at Chelsea.
He is elite, absolutely elite. Yeah. I agree. He's totally proved me wrong. I was so against him. Coach knows. Oh my gosh!
Yeah, I was on the show, Bobby.
But Bobby, at the time, it wasn't like you didn't know he was a good manager. Your argument at the time was driven by how the traditionals will feel about it. When I say traditionals, I hope you understand what I mean. The more traditional fans who you could say who
he's
are
calling
more
us
into the rivalry.
He's calling us old farts. Bobby, he's
Yeah.
calling us old farts.
Yeah. No, I'm happy to say I was completely wrong about Pochettino. He is an elite manager for
Yeah, he
sure.
is.
You know, he's got to have time to get it right because he's still learning his team. You know, people criticize him, oh, you made the wrong subs, this and that. Okay, maybe, but you know, he has to have that leverage. But boy, does he get it right tactically, because he does things tactically that Graham Potter never did or could.
You know what? You know what?
I agree with you, Jay-Z.
Also, in the second half, this is where Arteta had the opportunity to counter, tactically speaking, and I saw the same game for all intents and purposes. The only thing that changed the game was momentum based on an error from us from the back. So
Yeah,
he got it right
He
completely.
outsmarted him.
Yeah, Arteta had no answers to this tactically. I'm talking about. So what does that tell you?
Yeah, he's an excellent manager, and I can't. This team will have, you can say, will go a long way. And the good thing is that we're still planning on signing players in January, which we've been told that he will lead the way. And it makes sense. He's looked at this team very, you can say, close range, and now says, okay, this is what we need to become even better. So I appreciate that. Why did I forget what I wanted to ask Roger? There's a question I wanted to ask you, Roger. Oh my goodness.
Sorry.
Let me
Is
just
it-
ask you this. Let me just
Yeah.
ask you another one anyway. There's always a question for you, and I like to put you on the spot. The question I want to ask you is this: Sanchez. People are calling for Sanchez to be dropped, and I feel like I don't see that happening. Why do I say that? You have to pay attention to how the manager has handled the goalkeeper selection process. Let me just use that. During cup game, one particular cup game, we expected Sanchez to start. I think it was what team was that? Second division team, I think so. We expected what's his name, Petrovic, to start, and he
Yes.
went with Sanchez,
Fair
and
enough.
we realized, okay, maybe because Sanchez didn't get a preseason, he wants him to play even more, and that has helped to an extent. You can see he's improved.
That was the Wimbledon game. Yeah.
Yeah, a Wimbledon game. Yeah. So now he's improved, and that has helped. We played another cup game. He still started him, the one against Brighton. I'm feeling, my concern is that he probably look at it and feel like, okay, he's been averaging a single mistake per game. That is, if he's been paying attention to that, and so, okay, you know what? Finally, he got punished. So maybe he will learn from his mistakes, from that particular mistake, and be careful next time. But here's the thing: I saw something on TikTok. Sanchez making comical mistakes in terms of passing the ball from the back. Didn't start today. It did not start today. What do you think, Roger? Do you think he drops him, or do you think
No, I
we
doubt
still
it.
see him?
I doubt it because he's new to the team, new to the goalkeeping coaches. Don't forget, different position. They have their own coaches, multiple coaches actually. If you look, I think we have 3 on the books, and so you know you're going to write this off as a bad day at the office. Okay, that doesn't mean that he won't be dropped eventually, but I think it's too premature. Even though he had a clanker of a game. You know, and also we're not privy to what's going on at Cobham. We don't know what all the other goalkeepers are doing. We really don't. So it'll be premature, you know. I don't know.
And somebody, go ahead. Sorry.
Listen, Bettinelli's not even going to sniff.
Don't even mention
Yeah,
his name.
exactly.
I was at the stadium during the preseason game under Tuchel in Las Vegas. Here, he made an error, which you can partly blame James Doe for the passing.
Sure.
But go ahead. What you were saying.
Listen, Georgi Petrovic. He's new to the team, new to everything. It's going to take time to break him in, so to speak. And we're not privy to Cobham's training, you know, or what the goalkeeping coaching are giving input back to Poch. So I'd be very shocked if Petrovic starts the next game. I don't, other than injury I'm talking about, I don't see that transpiring at all. I think he's going to show patience. I think he realizes that he isn't the perfect article, but listen, in this position, you need continuity. I think the next cup game, he'll probably play. Petrovic. I think that's a fair assessment, or at least in the next two, and you'll break him in eventually. I'm interested to see as to how Petrovic is as an entire package, not just with his feet, but also, listen, you've got to admit, Sanchez, he's dominated his box thus far. He really has.
We're all, again, I think we all agree with that.
Listen, there were many critics for Kepa last year. Bobby. No, but seriously, and it was but it was warranted, because listen, as much as I like Kepa, he doesn't dominate his box, and in this league, historically, at least in the last 50 plus years I've been watching it, this is part of the DNA of goalkeeping in this league. You have to dominate your box, especially for set pieces, and he does that quite well. Is he the finished article? No, he's not. Second goal, I think he could have made himself bigger and perhaps saved that. But you know what? It's point blank range also. You have to take that in consideration. Listen, he's had one bad game out of 9 or 10. So let's see how he progresses. Let's see more importantly, what his mental attitude is. This can make him stronger, or he could capitulate mentally. So let's see what he's made of also. Because don't forget, once you replace him with Petrovic, you've basically killed his confidence, short term anyway. So be careful what you wish for.
At the same time, Roger, right now he has no competition.
Well, he does. He has Petrovic.
Not really, given how things have gone so far. Cup games he started, Petrovic didn't start.
Yeah, but it's very early. Don't forget Petrovic just came in.
Here's my point is this: until Petrovic plays,
sure,
whether in a cup game or whether in a friendly, until Petrovic gets to play, and that's when he knows I really have a competition. But now subconsciously, he will not. I think he'll be taking it for granted.
I don't believe so. Especially after.
You don't think so?
Especially after last night's performance, I don't think he's taken anything for granted. He knows. A goalkeeper knows, just like any player in any sport, they know when they've played well and they've known when they've had a stinker. And he was fallible. He was culpable for both goals. Let's be honest. And to be honest with you, if VAR was worth its weight in salt, we should have lost that technically. I'm being honest, because he cleared out. What's his name? The Arsenal player, their number 9. So that's a penalty all day long. It's just that the ineptitude. I don't blame the on-field officials so much, but VAR it's farcical. It really is, and I'm glad. We were actually the recipient of poor officiating, I say, for the first time really this year. So.
Yep, right. I'm going to get what we have in the turn, and we should call it a day. We've been streaming for 3 hours and 7 minutes. If Fulham gets a result against Swansea, we are back to the promised land in the 12th position.
Good one,
man. But let's see what happens. I think Spurs will beat them. Fulham will lose, but that's just us. We could say we wish they lose. But you cannot script this game. Gallagher definitely has earned a pay rise from 50k to 70k. Yeah, look at you. He's laughing too. He knows it's going to be more.
2k commission.
100 plus.
My commission.
Yeah, your commission, exactly. I'm sorry, Poch is not an elite manager yet. He has a lot more to prove. Okay, if that's how you see it, let's find out. Dante, Poch schooled at Teta. He schooled him yesterday. Teta had no answer to the way we played, to the Poch's tactical approach. Chelsea could drop from 10th if Fulham wins, but hallelujah, at least we're 10th. When was the last time we made it that up high? Let's see, just in your opinion, yeah, we like that disclaimer. Disclaimer here. So much Fulham is not a club. We beat them. So what are they? A kitchen. We knew Arsenal had at least 2 goals in them. We knew before time it was never going to be a goalless draw. Both teams will score. We just needed to score more, but we bottled it and fumbled the bag. We can now find the find, but we don't have enough of forwards capable of finishing. I think we can still score goals. All I ask of is let the goals come from every department. not just the attackers, and we'll be
Here.
fine. Chimera and Kunku is injured. He knows that. Potter out. Yeah, get Potter out of this place as soon as possible. Let's see. Take care all. And Roger, after you just joined, but I'll still add your credentials to the chat area, the description session. Okay. I want to say thank you to everybody on the panel. Thank you to Tyrone. Thank you to Bobby Smoky Signals. I'm happy. Signs are you're getting better. Thank you to Jerry Z. And thank you to Roger Dodger, chairman of the Goalkeepers Union. The goalkeeper conversation will not be complete without us. You can say you listening to you express your opinion, for lack of a better term. Chimera, thank you so much. I appreciate you. And Constantine Dante, much love to you. And Ty, I appreciate you joining once more. And Maya Fawale, who else in the chat here? A lot of people who started, they've all gone. Chelsea, meet your boy. Mitch McConnell, nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. Roger Dodger in the chat too. And Prince is here. Much love to you. And DJ Soft was also in the house. Much love to all of you. I appreciate you all. If I miss your name, apologies. I'm only human. See you guys next time. God bless us all and bye.
Cheers, everybody.